Choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go! It's Bo time!
'Tis the season for family and friends. 'Tis the season for gifting. And 'tis the season for making holiday dreams come true. 'Tis the season for using the old-timey contraction 'tis. And 'tis the time of year for holiday scratch-offs. With over $85 million in total prizes, 'tis the best gift of all.
'Tis the season to gift endless joy with holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.06 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Ram Black Friday sales event is going on now, with great deals on a wide selection of powerful and dependable Ram trucks. Right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for this Black Friday offer. $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 12/2/24.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222.
Shop early, save big, all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A couple of mild days before some cold air rolls in later in the week. We'll see a high of 72 today, an overnight low of 48, and then we're back to 74 tomorrow. But Tuesday night and Wednesday, we'll see showers and thunderstorms and then turning colder.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 68 points at 43,376.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. Welcome to the new week. Tim Donnelly here. Graham Hill producing the show as he has been doing, filling in for Dennis Cox, who's out of the office yet again today. Carolina Hurricanes 2-0 over the weekend.
Let's go. Who would have thought?
About it.
I had my doubts.
Doubts, concerns. It's concerns. The most impressive part of the Canes season thus far. And Martin Necas has been really good. Sure, winning with 3 different goalies is impressive. Yeah, the new guys on the blue line filling in helps. To me, it boils down to one thing. The most impressive part of the Canes season thus far, and it was proven again over the weekend, is their ability to make overcoming adversity, to make jumping over obstacles, to make dealing with the hard parts of an NHL season look easy. It's unbelievable how in many different facets they faced some very, very tough situations, and they come out on the other side smelling like roses. Not even like, are you sweating? Did you even work that hard? And this weekend was another one. You can go back and listen to our show on Friday. Graham was here, as I just said, and we talked about how there's, for the first time this season, like legitimate reasons for concern for the Canes. You had your number one and number two goalie, both expected to miss Saturday's game with an injury. You had Seth Jarvis expected to miss Saturday's game with an injury. You had just dealt with 2 not great games out of 3 on the road. Come back on Monday, it's like, did you even break a sweat going 2-0? Which brought me to, let's start the week off with a heck of an analogy. For those of you that have seen the reboot of 21 Jump Street, right? The movie that came out a handful of years ago starring, Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill? There's a bit in there, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen a comedy from like 10 years ago. There's a bit in there during a car chase where a bunch of situations that feel like there should be a big explosion happens and nothing does. Right? A car like veers into and smashes into a gasoline tanker and everyone, and covers their face. No explosion. Then they're driving down in a truck hauling like I don't know, they look like the tanks that you fill balloons with, only it says like highly flammable, whatever on there. And the car hits it and they go tumbling into the street and everyone's like, that's going to explode. And they, nothing happens and they just keep driving. And it just happens a bunch of times, right? Like, oh no, this is going to go so bad, it's going to be a big explosion. Oh, that wasn't that bad at all. Until eventually, I think a chicken truck explodes, and that's the one that goes on. That's the punchline. But this year, that's what it's felt like for me for the Canes. Right? A team with a ton of new pieces, right? New guys on the blue line, new forwards, a rookie in the rotation. All of this is happening. So what happens? Very early in their season, they have to go on a 6-game road trip. I'm going like, that's going to go bad. 5-1. Kind of dominated the road trip. That wasn't bad at all. Early in the season, they give up 3 goals in a period against St. Louis, who's not a crazy good team. That's going to go bad. How's that going to affect them? They won their next 8 games. That wasn't bad at all. Freddie Anderson gets hurt. That's going to go. Kochetkov runs off 5 straight wins. That wasn't bad at all. You lose to Colorado, giving up 5 goals in 1 period. Seth Jarvis is hurt, and after that game, isn't playing. Hasn't played since. I'm sitting there going, this is bad. Dominate Vegas the next game on the road. That wasn't bad at all. And that leads us to this weekend. Kochetkov gets hurt. So now Freddie Anderson's already out. Kochetkov's out on Saturday. You're moving in Spencer Martin. The only game he started this year, you gave up 6 goals. 5 and then an empty netter, but you know what I mean. So he's starting against Ottawa in the first half of a back-to-back. They're calling up undrafted free agent in his second year, Yaniv Peretz, to back him up. Again, I'm watching it going like, this isn't going to go well. Spencer Martin gets a shutout win. That wasn't bad at all. Kochetkov comes back on Sunday, wins the next day. That wasn't bad. They go through these situations you're watching going, this is going to go horribly. Never mind. That's fine.
Can I add on to something?
Sure. Go ahead.
Add one. Also going into that game on Saturday, you're going, Sebastian Aho hasn't scored in like 15 or 16 games. Not only does he score, but he scores on the power play.
Hammers at home.
And you're just like, oh, that's not bad. I'll take that.
I was really worried about him. He's still averaging what, like essentially, let me bring it up exactly.
Andrei Svechnikov also touches the score sheet this weekend. We haven't heard from him in a while, it feels like. So I like the analogy use that you went with, Tim. I also like the movie 22 Jump Street. So
both of them, 1 and 2. But it's just I'm not downplaying. Actually, matter of fact, I'm overplaying how much adversity they've faced. I think they've faced some real adversity early on. It just doesn't seem like it. And we all understand that facing adversity, facing obstacles, injuries, bad stretches, bad breaks, right? Bad puck luck. All of that is part of a season, and no one's going to escape a full season without facing their share of adversity. And you don't know what that adversity will be, right? Could be goalie health, could be one of your studs getting hurt. Like every team in the NHL is going to face it in some respect. Could be a really, really tough part of your schedule where it just feels like you're catching the division leader every other game for a month. There's a lot that could happen that will be your adversity, and it is oftentimes impossible to predict. But the ability to handle adversity mentally helps you more than anything. And a lot of times it's the hardest part to predict. Right? You draft a guy, you know you can draft him because he's, the right height, the right weight, has the right skating ability. You can go back and look at their college stats or junior stats. You can look at all the tangibles, but what you're not sure with 100% accuracy is how they're going to respond after they're put in a situation completely against their control or outside of their control where they're going to struggle. And the Canes seem to have put together a roster top to bottom that reacts the right way. Jarvis is hurt. Cool. Blake will score more. Both Kochetkov and previously Anderson get hurt. Cool. Spencer Martin will put up a shutout. Aho and Svech and Jarvis aren't shooting a high percentage like we're used to seeing. They're not producing goals at the rate they're used to seeing. Cool. Roslovic and, of course, Necas will pick up the slack. They're just a team of a bunch of guys, and credit to Rod Brindamore, credit to Don Waddell, who put a lot of this roster together as GM, and credit to Eric Tulsky, who's made the moves this past offseason as GM. They've put together a team that reacts the right way to adversity, and it quite honestly makes it seem like they haven't faced a ton, even though they have. Right? It makes us seem like we're Chicken Little on Friday when we're pointing out all of the reasons why this upcoming week was a point of concern, this upcoming weekend, right? We said on Friday. Saturday, Sunday was a point of concern. We put out all these reasons, come back on Monday, and it's like, you guys overblown it. Right? It was an 8-1 goal to goals scored to given up weekend. 4 zippy against Ottawa and 4-1 against St. Louis. It's like, yeah, I still think all the adversity we talked about was real. I just think they dealt with it really, really well. Beating a good team soundly doesn't mean they're not a good team. It means you played well enough to beat a good team soundly. And I'm not putting Ottawa or St. Louis as a good team. I'm just saying overcoming obstacles easily doesn't mean those obstacles were easy to overcome. Made it look easy. Right? No, what's the saying? Like, here's a story that maybe probably definitely didn't happen, but people reference it all the time. Plumber comes over to your house. You're like, oh man, every toilet in the house has been overflowing. I need you to work. I need you to fix it. And they're like, all right, let me see what you can do. They go under the house for 2 minutes, tap a pipe twice, comes out, say it's all fixed. That'll be $1,000. And they go, what? It took you 2 seconds. You went in, why am I paying you $1,000? Well, you're not paying me for the 2 seconds it took to fix it. You're paying me for the 30 years it took to know which pipes to tap when I went down under the house.
Fair enough.
That doesn't mean that the problem was any more difficult to figure out. It means I was good at overcoming it. The Canes, hey, there may have been a real problem there, right? There may have been real concerns. The goalie situation may have been a real problem. It looks like they fixed it with 2 taps. That doesn't mean the problem wasn't real. It means they knew exactly how to overcome it. Credit to Rod Brindamore for steering the ship. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It was fun, by the way. I mean, every time you looked up, they were scoring another goal and doing a pretty good job of preventing them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have Monday Sound Off coming up about 3:30, so if you have something you want to sound off on, could be the Canes, could be college basketball, college football, pro football, could be anything. We're going to open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline for your thoughts coming up at 3:30. In the meantime, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. I'm going to focus in on the Omega Boutique today. So you walk into Bailey's Fine Jewelry, look left, and there's, you can't miss it. Straight left on the other side of the Estate Jewelry, there's the Omega Boutique. And you walk in there, and you can't help but notice, especially if you're a fan of timepieces and watches and you like the industry. There are so many iconic watches in that Omega Boutique. You're talking Seamaster, which is the current version of the famous movie Spy. Yes, the one you're thinking of, the most famous is watch. He likes to wear some elite timepieces. Seamaster is his of choice at the moment. The Speedmaster is another model brand or model kind of faction of Omega. That's the moon watch. That's the watch that gets worn by astronauts when they have to time their moonwalks. The entire Omega brand is the official watch of the Olympics, which time matters there, right? It's Constellation if you're more into dress watches, DeVille if you're more into dress watches. There is an unbelievable selection of Omegas inside the Omega boutique right there at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location in Raleigh. It is something you need to see for yourself. Talk to Mickey, the timepiece manager, anyone there that can help you out. Just put them on your wrist. Take them for a little bit of a mental stroll. Once you have it there, you'll see how cool you feel. And when you're there, by the way, when you're at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District location, make sure they know you heard about it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. We'll take a break. When we come back, UNC football beat Wake Forest. They are bowl eligible. We have to tip our cap to one specific person within the UNC football program, and it might not be who you think. Stick around.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Houston and Dallas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Upgrade your home with Baker Home Exteriors and take advantage of our financing options. We offer 0% interest for 12 months, same as cash financing. Our financing plans also cover siding and window replacements, making those big projects more manageable. Don't just imagine how your home could look. Use our interactive visualizer tool at bakerroofing.com to see your home's potential and get started on a worry-free home upgrade experience.
It's truck season at John Heister Chevrolet, and boy, do we have the sweetest Silverado deal for you. Right now, you can get that 24 Silverado 1500 you've had your eye on for up to $15,000 off with GM trade-in allowance and Costco private offer. Yes, up to $15,000 off a brand new 2024 Silverado 1500 right now at John Heister Chevrolet. See dealer for details on this sweet Silverado offer. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. Together, let's drive.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling is celebrating 51 years of trusted service. And to celebrate, get a furnace tune-up for just $51. That's peace of mind heating for only $51. Visit MitchellHVAC.com. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. Quality products and services on time from a family you trust. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There are quite a few compliments due to the UNC football program, who beat Wake Forest over the weekend, by the way, 31-24, to become bowl eligible. There's quite a few compliments due to the UNC football program, but I'm starting with the guy who's running the UNC football program, Mack Brown. Mack Brown may not be the guy for the future of UNC football. There's obviously some age, like, how long does he want to keep doing it questions, but I don't think there's a doubt that he still has part of or all of what made him one of the best coaches of a generation. He knows how to rally the troops. He can unite a group. He can get them through a season bought in and on the same page regardless of what happens. And that there's maybe nothing more a coach should take pride in. Mack Brown, after beating Wake Forest to gain that bowl eligibility that we were talking about, spoke to the media. This is what he had to say about the win.
For this team to have been in such a hole, very few teams, in my estimation, could have come out of this. And that means they've got great character. I'm so proud of the coaches that they've hung in there because they were in a hole and everything was negative. And then you lose a 23-year-old that's crushing. It didn't happen very often in your life, and you never want it to happen. You can take two different paths. You can go down and just quit, and you got plenty of excuses. And they didn't do that. They kept their head up. They kept fighting. They kept competing. And I think that's why they're so proud tonight.
And also, this is why part of why Mack Brown is what I am giving him credit for. Mack Brown deserves a lot of that credit. Now, a good coach, a good leader, is going to attract blame in bad times and deflect credit in good. So he's not going to ever say, like, hey, also, I did a really good job there. But he should, and we should. He's not messing around when he talks about how low they fell at points in time this season. They lost 4 straight games, just talking about the football, in the ugliest fashion possible. Gave up 70 in a loss to James Madison. A group of 5 team went into your stadium and beat you by a bunch, scoring 70. Next week, gave up a 20-point lead to crosstown rival Duke to lose by the whiskers on your chinny chin chin. Then you lost a heartbreaker at home to Pitt. Again, a game that was tied late and you end up losing by double figures. And then you get pushed around and lose at home to Georgia Tech. And mixed in, you heard Coach Brown allude to it, Tylee Kraft, one of their wide receivers, passes away the same day, October 12th, according to the News and Observer, the same day that Georgia Tech game took place. That is unimaginable difficulty for that team. 3 straight wins and bowl eligibility followed. After that unimaginable low, 3 straight wins and bowl eligibility followed. You won 3 games, you lost 4 straight with everything I just talked about. And in a world where you lose 4 straight in college football right now, it is nearly impossible not to have players looking towards the next year, looking towards the transfer portal, looking towards how much money they're going to make, looking towards anything else. Yet they stuck together, right? Already an ACC championship out the window. Any hope of a college football playoff out the window. You're just playing for bowl eligibility at a point when bowls are being downgraded and devalued every single year. That's not great. That's unbelievable coaching.
So my whole thing is this. I think this might be one of Mack Brown's best coaching seasons that he's had since he's returned to Chapel Hill.
As far as, like, obviously he's had more successful teams.
Right.
More impressive talent, specifically at the quarterback position, Sam Howell straight into Drake May. But from a, like, leader of men, with coaching, getting the whole locker room to row the boat in the same direction, the last 3 games have been mighty impressive.
And that's the whole bit. I mean, Mack Brown's the kind of coach where he's not going to go in there, rah, 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 fire you guys up, but he cares more about developing young men into stand-up guys. And I think you're seeing that right now with how they've been able to take everything they went through, all the adversity, and as he said it, weather the dark clouds to find the rainbows in this season. They're getting ready to go bowl. They're going to another bowl game this year.
I don't even want to sell him short on the rah-rah, because the last 3 games, they've come out firing straight out the gate. Right? These aren't games where, like, at halftime it's in doubt. They're ahead by a bunch going into the final frame. I don't want to sell him short as far as a pregame speech giver. Just because you're not Dan Campbell talking about taking hunks out of kneecaps and everything else, like, give Mac his credit. I understand in ways the fan base is going to say, and I agree with them in a lot of ways, that the game is different now and may have passed him by in some ways, as every industry does to somebody that's been in the trenches for 50 years. But there's something to be said for the guys don't quit when he's the coach. There is something to be said for all of your goals can slip through your fingers, and the next week they're still running and tackling and putting their body on the line with the same energy and enthusiasm that you would if you were in an elimination game. It's actually part of coaching that I think is getting overlooked, because nowadays it's so much, and I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just the way it's gone. So much of head coaching is, how innovative of a mind are you? Can you get a modern offense? Can you coach? And there's less of, can you get everybody on the same page, pulling as hard as they possibly can? Right? There's more of the Lincoln Riley, Cliff Kingsbury, more of like the what can you bring to me as far as RPOs when you're getting hired as a head coach. And I think that at times UNC lacks that. So I'm not saying it's 100% perfect. But I'm saying Mack Brown had that team ready to come out of both bye weeks like their hair's on fire, despite facing a really, really, really low at some point in this season, right after that 4-game losing streak, both on the field and off. Give Mack Brown his credit. Give Mack Brown his due. Now the question becomes about the future, and is there differences to make on the coaching staff if he's still around? What's his future? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we will open up the phone lines. Monday sound off. If you want to line up on the lines, feel free. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326, 919-860-5326. We will take whatever you want to sound off on. Also, I'll give you a thesis statement that involves UNC football. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99 The Fan, and it is time for our Scholar Athlete of the Month. Today, we are here at Willow Springs High School, and we're here to celebrate Ansley Ayers.
She's really encouraging and will make sure that you're comfortable with whatever you're doing, and I never have a bad time when I'm around her.
Her energy is always very uplifting at practice and competitions.
Last year we won a state championship. You know, she was there in the corner again, hyping everybody up, just giving them just some words of wisdom before they hit the mat.
Ansley is an amazing athlete. She's a leader on the team and a great student. Love having her in class, and she's really good and represents the school well.
I'm really happy to represent Willow Spring. Both my parents have been there for me since day one, and my sisters too. They've always been supporting me, and I couldn't have done it without them. And my teammates are always just constantly bringing up my attitude and helping me stay positive through everything, no matter how busy or stressful it can get.
Congratulations, Ansley.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Every season can be punishing for your roof. Mother Nature is a fierce opponent that doesn't take a break, which is why you need RoofWorks on your building maintenance team. Hi, this is Holly from RoofWorks. We specialize in keeping your commercial roof in great condition no matter what the issue may be. We offer roof inspections, roof repairs, and if needed, a full roof replacement. We help determine if there's a problem with your roof and advise you on the most cost-effective way to handle it. Contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
99.9 The Fan, Carolina Ale House, and me, Victoria Vodnecker, want to get you to a Canes game. Join me Thursday night at the Carolina Ale House in Cary from 7 to 9. Show up and sign up for a shot to grab a pair of tickets to the Canes Islanders game. I will guarantee 15 people will be able to take a friend to the game once the night is done. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. You only win when you come hang out with me. Set the reminder, Carolina Ale House in Cary, Thursday night with me and 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and get you back on the road in less time than it takes to get over from the express lane to the exit ramp. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a Monday sound-off. Heaster Automotive Group hotline open for your venting, your points you want to make, your arguments. Somebody jumped in my email earlier today, wants to argue about the Canes, thinks I'm being too negative about them, even though I spent the first 10 minutes of the show praising them for making it look easy. But having a good conversation there. I want to have good conversations with many of you. 919-860-9. How about that for a Monday? I was about to give a number that didn't make any sense. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 is the number to call in. Matt in Burlington is waiting patiently, so we'll start with him. Matt, thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead and sound off. What do you want to sound off on? Matt in Burlington, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
There you go. Now I got you. What do you want to sound off on?
All right. So I just wanted to talk about, since the Panthers weren't playing this week, I was able to watch a lot of the other games. And the biggest thing that stood out to me was the difference in coaching in the National Football League. You got guys that are coaching not to lose their job, and then you got guys that are coaching to win. A couple of examples, you got McDermott up in Buffalo. They went out, instead of playing for the field goal right there, they went out and tried to score that touchdown at the end. You had Harbaugh last night. They had 30 seconds left. He decides to run the ball, and, they end up scoring a touchdown. And then you have Matt Eberflus, who has 35 seconds left on the clock and decides that he wants his kicker to to kick like a 45-yard field goal, and we saw how that went. So that was my biggest takeaway from the weekend.
So since, I mean, obviously, by the way you started this call, you sound like a Panther fan. Where do you think Canales falls on that spectrum? When he's making his calls, is he coaching to win or is he coaching to save his job?
Yeah, I definitely think, and I've called about this in the past, but he definitely does not play to win the game. To me, he doesn't let Bryce push the ball down the field as much as I would like him to, and a lot of too much side to side action on the offense, and I just like it. I would like it to be a little bit more aggressive play calling.
Appreciate the call, Matt. I'll give you some comments here, but thank you for calling in. Call back in at any time. By the way, Heister Automotive Group hotline open for your Monday sound off. If you want to join the show, just be ready to tell us your topic and then go ahead and sound off. The number to call is 919-860-5326. I think it is a superpower in the NFL to have a coach and a GM that don't have to worry about job security. I've said this about it used to be Belichick after he won 1 billion Super Bowls. He would draft a guy in the second round, cut him like 15 months later, and I was like, nobody else can do that. Because if you cut a second rounder that quickly, everyone's going to say you made a mistake and, oh, my gosh, you don't know what you're doing. Belichick was able to go, listen, this guy's he's not going to help us. Let's maybe get someone in here that could. And it became a superhero move. Now, obviously, it didn't end perfectly, but job security is great. You can truly just do what you think is going to win and not have to worry about how it will look in job interviews the next offseason if you do lose your job. So it's I'm with you there. If Dave Canales had to interview for jobs next year, he's not going to want to say, well, we lost games in Carolina because I was going for fake field goals with 20 seconds left. Even if, truth serum, he thinks a fake field goal with 20 seconds left would have been the best way to win. Obviously an exaggeration, but I hope you get what I'm saying. Back to the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Again, it's open for you for the next however long we need to get your opinions out there. 919-860-5326, Heister Automotive Group hotline, open for your sounding off. Ian in Apex is next up to sound off on this Monday. Ian, the floor is yours. Go ahead and sound off. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I was watching the Dolphins versus the Raiders game, and, I think it's something that we all need to talk about is when Tua is healthy, he has to be talked about as one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league. Because if you look at his stats and if you look, we played the Raiders yesterday, and He had the best game against the Raiders that anyone has played, and Justin Herbert has played them, Lamar Jackson has played them, and so has Patrick Mahomes. And we most likely consider all three of those people to be elite. And I understand that he hasn't had a playoff win, but he hasn't really had the team to win the playoff wins, especially if you consider the defensive injuries. And I think that if you look at the games that when he's healthy, when we needed a score, even against Buffalo, he came through and he scored every single time we needed one. And every single time we needed a first down yesterday, he came up and showed and got a first down. We went 8 for 12 yesterday, and there's 2 times that we didn't get the first down that we kicked the field goal, and 2 times that we went for it on 4th down and got it. So we basically every single time that we got the ball, we scored. And I really do think that Tua is an elite quarterback.
Okay, well, I can already tell you what the pushback is going to be from everybody who's not as high on Tua. He has Tyreek Hill, and he has Jalen Waddle, and he has Jonnu Smith, and he has Devon Achane, and he has Mike McDaniel, who's a great play caller. How do you differentiate between what's Tua and what's the unbelievable supporting cast?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I did not hear you.
Okay, so the obvious pushback is going to be Tua's statistically great when healthy in a lot of ways, but also he has Tyreek Hill, he has Jalen Waddle, he has Jonnu Smith, he has Devon Achane, and he has a great play caller in Mike McDaniel. How do you differentiate between what's Tua being great and what's the supporting cast?
Well, I mean, also Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs for 4 years, and Sam Darnold has Justin Jefferson, and Justin Herbert.
No one's putting Sam Darnold in any all-time or top of the quarterback situation.
I'm just saying that people were talking about Sam Darnold being an MVP candidate, and Tua really didn't get any of that talk last year, and so I don't think that we're being equal to the quarterback.
I'm confused there. So Josh Allen has never won an MVP, and he had Stephon Diggs. The players that have won MVPs have been above and beyond, right? Lamar Jackson last year, who was his best pass catcher? He won an MVP. Who was his best running back? Are we talking Justice Hill? Are we talking Gus Edwards? It's the MVP is a completely different beast because you do take the entire context into account.
I would agree with that, but I don't know if Tua is MVP like, but I think that he's elite to be considered top 10 or top 5 at the least, and when healthy, obviously. But he's not been healthy for the past 2 years, past years. So I don't think that people consider him to be healthy. People consider him to be an MVP because of his health. And I understand that he's got great players, but so many players do have good players. And Lamar last year had a great defense, but he also didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't win a Super Bowl, and I understand Tua hasn't. But Lamar had a great defense, and Lamar has a great coach. Like you said with Mike McDaniel, John Harbaugh is a great coach.
Yep.
And Josh Allen, Sean McDermott's a great coach, and he also has a pretty darn good defense. And he has James Cook, who's is top 5 running back in the league. And then he also has Amari Cooper, and I know he will have Amari Cooper for the rest of the season. And so I just think that I understand that the supporting cast is there for him, but I just think that he has to be considered top 10 because we went out and got those guys.
All right, I appreciate the call. Obviously, something you've thought a lot about, and I love it. So call back in anytime. My pushback there would be, it does seem like you are overhyping some other supporting casts in order to negate the Tua Tagovailoa supporting cast. I don't think anybody has James Cook as one of the top running backs in the NFL. There's some that are doing some pretty darn special things, and I would even have Devon Achane above him as far as being a difference maker. Trevor in Holly Springs, you're up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, which is open for all of our Monday sound-offs, 919-860-5326. Trevor, thank you for calling in. Take it in whatever direction you want to go.
Well, I like talking about the Chiefs, but I the kid that was just talking about Tua being MVP, not even close.
He did stop short of MVP. He acknowledged the health side. He thought when healthy, he should be mentioned among the top. So I'll defend him there. But go ahead and sound off on the Chiefs.
But yeah, I mean, you call about the Chiefs every week. Xavier Worthy, when's he going to catch a deep ball down the field and keep both feet in bounds? Like, when are we just going to start blowing people out? I don't get it. Mahomes hasn't thrown for 200 yards pretty much all season. I mean, and our defense got exploited by Josh Allen yesterday. I'm like, God, I'm glad we got beat. Honestly, we needed it. Hopefully it humbled us.
So let me be clear here. The Chiefs are 9-1. They were 9-0 like 48 hours ago. The one loss, and you are you're throwing up some warning flags.
Well, I mean, we like you said, we've only won like 8 one-score games. I mean.
All right, I appreciate the call. Here's my take on the Chiefs, and here's my. I've been saying this all season. I trust Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And last year at this point in time, I wish I had the stats in front of me. I don't think Rashee Rice was a dominant player by any stretch. Heck, Pacheco may not have been a great player at this point, or 2 years ago, I think, is when he emerged. And halfway through the season, we didn't know who their playmakers were. As long as the defense is playing well, and I think they are, I have confidence in the offense figuring it out. And the one-score game thing is a tough one for me, because certain teams that win like 8 straight one-score games, I look at and I think, well, that's gonna regress to the mean. That can't stay that rate. You'll never keep winning that many. And then I look at a team like the Chiefs and I go, no, actually, I think that is sustainable. I think Patrick Mahomes is better in one-score games than most other quarterbacks. He finds a way to win. So I'm not going to be worried about the Chiefs. Is kind of what I'm getting at. I'm not going to be worried about the Chiefs. John in Goldsboro, you are up next here on a Monday Sound Off. Everybody continue to call in, 919-860-5326. We're plowing through Monday Sound Off. John, thank you for calling in. What do you have for us? John, are you there? John, I can't hear you. Do you have us muted? Going once. Going twice. Oh, John, you're there. I just heard you clear your throat. What do you have for us?
Oh, hey, how's it going, Tim? This is Travis from Bowie, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling because I want to speak on when John Shire gets scared, he tends to cancel his rotation to at least like 7-man rotation. I want to kind of get your feedback about that. Thank you.
I appreciate it. It is funny. I'll say this, and you can go back and find the clip on our YouTube. It's in our ACC tip-off kind of playlist. It's ACC Media Day, I think is what it's labeled. We talked to John Shire at ACC tip-off, and one of the things I brought up was that they had 10 or 11 guys that I bet were expecting to play, right? They were 5-star recruits. They were transfers with options. Obviously, Tyrese Proctor, Caleb Foster coming back were expecting to play. And what I said to John Shire was, you don't usually play 9, 10, or 11 guys. So what's the competition been like for minutes? And it's really the only thing that he pushed back on. Right, because normally we have John Shire on the show often enough that I kind of get his rhythms, and I very much appreciate all insight he gives us. But normally he's a yes and, right? He's like, all right, that's a question. Yes, that's a concern. But, or yes, and here's what else we're doing. For this one, he just kind of a hint of pushback. He said, well, I don't know anyone in the country that plays 10 or 11 guys, right? As if like me implying that he had a short rotation was not true, even though last year it was down to 6, maybe 5 guys at times. And the caller is suggesting that when games get close, he shuts it down. I don't necessarily think that it's when he gets scared. I think it's coaches, particularly young coaches, trust who they trust. And why go elsewhere in a clutch minute, in a crucial moment, right? So I think there's a distinct hierarchy, and I think when the chips are down, you want the guys you trust the most out there, and also there's still plenty of time to change the rotation. What was it? Isaiah Evans went 4 of 7 from 3 against Wofford over the weekend. Maybe he played himself into a bigger role, which can change now. But I don't think it's a huge problem. I just think it's you trust who you trust in those situations. All right, now I'm being told we do have John in Goldsboro back on the line. I tried to bring him on a second ago. We'll give him another shot here. John, I'm told you want to sound off on NC State, so feel free to go ahead.
Well, my big thing is John, Jon in Goldsboro. My big thing is I'm a big Wolfpack fan. And
okay. Are we talking football or basketball here? I just want to make sure
football, yes,
okay.
Sir. In a couple of weeks, we played them Tar Heels, and we got to get. It'd be nice if it was the rivalry is still there, but if both teams were winning, man, this state would be talking about that so much more.
I agree with you. So the call is just kind of
saying, look, UNC should have lost their very first game. That field goal kicker from Minnesota missed the kick at the last second.
So,
and,
so are you just lamenting? Are you just lamenting that the two teams aren't better? Is that what you're getting at?
Hey, we'll pick it up. Hey, look, ECU's not good. App State's not good. This state's got to pick it up.
All right, I appreciate the call. I think it's. I always take a step back from doing what he did with the Minnesota game, where it's saying they should have lost that game because a kicker missed a field goal, with the simple fact of if you go back and say, that kicker should have missed because it was a tough kick, but then you say like, in the first quarter, maybe a UNC wide receiver dropped a pass that they shouldn't have dropped, and maybe the whole game is different. So going back and playing the shoulda, woulda, coulda game is tough. I will give you this. I don't think the rivalry games would be any less buzzy. I still think when UNC and NC State play at the end of this year, especially if one of them might be vying for bowl eligibility, I think that game will be electric regardless. I think it's the other games that are missing a little sizzle. I think it's NC State against everybody else, Duke against everybody else. That would be more buzzy if they were slightly better.
Yeah, just to comment on John, the game, the kickoff time was announced today for State Carolina, 3:30 kick on the ACC network. And I first saw it announced by Carolina's football page on Twitter. And I go in the replies, and immediately the first couple of comments I see is, we have a chance to ruin their season. Everybody showed, just like it was last year when they played in Raleigh. NC State fans knew that they had all the momentum going on. So that's the beauty about the rivalries, right? Is that you throw out the records, and it could be a 5-6 NC State versus a 5-6 Carolina, which I was kind of hoping it would be. Just so that game really had some meaning, so that way whoever won was going to a bowl game, whoever lost
became like a single elimination bowl game tournament.
Yeah, exactly. But Carolina fans still recognize that they have a chance to go out 5 games strong, and they could ruin NC State's season. You know Matt Brown would love to do it since NC State's beaten the past 3 times, and the whole comments in the locker room last year. Yeah, that game's always going to have some sizzle to it.
It's if football were a little bit better, and by the way, Duke is playing very, very well. So there's some teams that are getting it done. If the teams were a little bit better, I think it's the games against others that would be more buzzy. But rivalry games, it's part of the glory of college football. Or those rivalry games, regardless of how they're playing, always mean something and always bring a little extra. Goodman and Clinton, you are on the Heister Automotive Group hotline on a Monday. Sound off. Goodman, go ahead and, as the name says, sound off.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys so much for those Dick Swanson tickets that I won. The show was awesome.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Awesome. And I also want to give you big kudos on your interview with the Hardy Boys. That was an awesome interview.
Appreciate that as well.
The TNA show in Fayetteville, that was an awesome show. It's always great to see the Hardy Boys in action.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sound off on these local Commander fans that are here in North Carolina, because I have been hearing them chirp about their rook all year long, saying that the division is theirs. I just want to say go Birds. I think them Birds, we're not even hitting on 100% right now, but the NFC better watch out, because when they hit full stride and Jalen really get his stuff together, we taking over the NFC.
All right. I appreciate the call. I'll respond real quickly here. First of all, thank you very much for the nice words. And those interviews, we had Nick Schwartzen on the show. We had the Hardy Boys on the show. You can go find all of those on our YouTube page if you missed it and want to see what he's talking about. When it comes to the Commanders and Eagles, if there is an argument for the Panthers going all out to win down the stretch here and maybe worsen their draft pick, you could argue it's the Commanders versus the Eagles. And what I mean by that is the Eagles just kind of know how to win. And the Commanders, even though they got all the buzz and everybody was very excited about Jaden Daniels, there are still games where down the stretch it's like, I don't know if they have the little extra, right? They lost to Pittsburgh by 1. They lost this past weekend to Philly by, I think it ended up being a 1-score game, an 8-point game. The Eagles know how to win. They've been to a Super Bowl. They've got a ton of veterans, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts amongst them, that offensive line. Obviously now Saquon. You look at the other side, they have some very talented veteran on the defensive front. So, yeah, if the bad teams want to beat the good teams, they have to learn how to win. And the Commanders don't appear to know how to do that yet unless – right, they're being electric and winning kind of from the beginning or getting a Hail Mary or something like that. But they'll learn over time. I really like Jaden Daniels. I think the rib injury is acting up a bit. He doesn't seem to have the same amount of pop on his throws. So it's either the rib injury, it could be, I don't know, playing cold weather for maybe the first time that he's done. He's a California kid, played at Arizona State, then went to LSU. Not a lot of cold games on the schedule for any of those. So maybe he's figuring that out. But from the Eagles' perspective, yeah, they know how to get it over the finish line.
I think that division is up for the taking, especially for the Eagles. For Goodman, though, I would just be curious on his thoughts as, to me, I feel like the only thing holding that team back is Nick Sirianni.
Ooh.
Honestly.
I mean,
his play calling at times and just decision-making in crucial situations has just left me thinking his last name's Nick Sirianni. I don't understand it.
They are 8-2. Leading the division, and I want to say on a 5 or 6 game win streak off the top of my head. It's pretty difficult to look at a coach and say you're not doing your job.
Yeah, but some of those games have have been against losing records though.
Yes, I mean I'm not saying they've played any kind of murderer's row, but I mean it's hard to win in the NFL. It's hard to win in the NFL, and I'm not even a big Sirianni guy. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying it's like the fan that called in and was giving the Chiefs a hard time as a Chiefs fan. I'm going like, you're 9-1. You were undefeated 48 hours ago, and you're throwing up some alarms. I tend to believe that if somebody is winning consistently in the NFL, it's usually not a fluke, right? It's usually not they're overcoming something or there's something holding them back. It's usually they're a good team with some good things going on. Nick Sirianni coached in the Super Bowl like 3 years, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago? He cried a lot during the national anthem. We should point that out. And maybe I don't know what was going on there, but I tend to believe they're pretty good when that happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Quickly, I want to get to my thesis statement because it's one I want to say and I want to stand behind and I want to be on record. Go ahead and fire the bell. Thesis statement in the last few minutes here. Omarian Hampton is the second best running back in the country, and This is where it gets saucy. I'm open to hearing arguments that he's the best running back in the country, and that includes Ashton Jeanty from Boise. First, let's hear from Mac Brown, his coach, on just how talented of a player Omarian Hampton is.
When we weren't moving the ball or blocking very well for him in the third quarter, he's quiet, but I saw him slip down and go to every offensive lineman and just tap him on the head and say, "We're good. Come on. Let's finish this thing." So he's got such a gentle strength of leadership about him. But he's one of the best players and people that I've ever been around, and really, really proud of what he's accomplished. And we've said before that he could have left here very easily in a time of NIL where people are talking to your players and they're leaving for always greener grass, and he stayed here, and it's worked for him too.
Second most rushing yards in the country for Omarian Hampton. 11th most rushing touchdowns with 14, should be more. Ashton Jeanty of Boise State leads the country in both. If I am hearing arguments for him being the best running back over Jeanty, part of it would have to be Group of 5 schedule for Boise, Power 5 schedule for UNC. But the most obvious would be Omarian Hampton is a better pass catcher. About 2 times as many catches, 3 times as many receiving yards. That's got to matter in modern football. I'm open to hearing it. I still think it's Jeanty. I think Omarian Hampton's the second best running back in the country. But, man, when you watch him get 40 touches against Wake Forest and go well over 200 yards, and he gets stronger and he's hurdling people. The hurdle touchdown, go back and watch it. It doesn't make physical sense.
No.
You shouldn't be able to overpower anybody without your feet on the ground because you need to push off. You need to generate your power from your base. He's an unbelievable player, and I don't like even with the praise he gets on this show and others, I still don't know if it's enough.
Being at the game, it was funny watching that play develop, and you see Dave Clawson on the Wake Forest sideline when he hurdles the Wake Forest defensive lineman, and
then bucks against the guy that's going to tackle him.
Yeah, initially gets wrapped up. You see Dave Clawson start running down the sideline, I guess ready to call a timeout for the stop, and then once Hampton just pushes his way into the end zone, you just see Clawson throw his hands up in the air. Like, we can't stop it. You can't stop him.
1,422 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns. I mentioned some of the passing stats, 30-something catches, 280-something yards. He's a throwback. He's an old-school workhorse, bell cow, first, second, and third down running back. Everything is kind of cyclical, right? The running back by committees we're in. Maybe we're going back to a little bit of a bell cow era, and if that happens, he'll be, I believe, second running back off the board when draft season comes around. He's really, really gosh darn good. That's my thesis statement here on a Monday. Thank you, everybody that called in for a Monday sound off. If you have a burning take, we'll probably take them. If you want to call in and let Graham know what you want to talk about. May not be able to get you on like immediately, but we'll find time. 919-860-5326, Heister Automotive Group hotline. 919-860-5326. We'll take a break. When we come back, Dave Canales announced Bryce Young is the starter for the Panthers. It's good news again, delivered seemingly late. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Experts say that heating costs are increasing up to 23% this winter. And if your windows aren't from Window Nation, your money is literally going out the window. They have some of the best insulated windows so your heat stays inside. And right now, get these amazing windows at 50% off. Plus, you could save even more money with 0% interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th. Schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
You've seen the postings all over that neighborhood app. People's packages are going missing from their porches this holiday season, but not yours because you have a home security system from SoundStation and Security. From doorbell cameras to whole home security systems, SoundStation and Security has the largest inventory on the East Coast. And if you're looking for a gift this holiday season but don't really know what to get, we sell gift certificates too. SoundStation and Security with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been sighted across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. The Fed has dropped rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6% or you are in process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock in a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000. Lower rates and lower fees. Get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Loan Pronto, call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Experience a Raleigh tradition. Head to Amedio's Italian Restaurant, a family favorite for over 60 years. From weekly specials to their famous homemade recipes, Amedio's uses only the freshest ingredients. Need a touchdown for your tailgate? Amedio's offers delicious takeout, perfect for cheering on the Wolfpack. Or they can host your private party. Amedio's even caters. Amedio's Italian Restaurant, Raleigh's Taste of Italy since 1963. Visit AmediosRestaurant.com for details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice out there this afternoon. Our high temperatures well above normal at 72 under partly cloudy skies. It's a mild night tonight, too. 48 overnight. And then tomorrow's a warm one as well. We'll see increasing clouds with a high of 70. And then Tuesday night and Wednesday, we could see some showers and some scattered storms Wednesday afternoon.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 55 points at 43,389. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. Like once a week, we get to have the same football at 4. Dave Canales earlier today announces that Bryce Young will start at quarterback for the Carolina Panthers against the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming week. Now, normally, this is actually a Tuesday or Wednesday version because Canales has to wait to name Bryce until he gathers all of the information. But this week, with the bye last week, he could take a full week to gather information and still name him the quarterback on Monday.
Plenty of time to watch the tape.
I want to be clear here. I'm glad that Bryce Young will continue starting at quarterback for the Panthers. It is the right move. They finished in the spot where they should. So I'm nitpicking. But I have two things that I want to ask of the Panthers. But first, we'll let you hear it in his own words. Dave Canales, speaking with the media earlier today, announces Bryce Young as the starter.
Bryce will play this week. Again, this is about the continued progress. This is about Bryce, looking more and more confident, as he's out there in Germany. Just felt a real confidence and just an aggressiveness to his play and all those things. And of course, the end result, winning, So he continues to do things that put us in a position to put him back out there and continue to build on that.
Few things. First, it appears as if it's still a weekly decision. Why not just name him the starter for as long as he's healthy for the rest of the year? That's my first bugaboo. My second bugaboo is I am still baffled by why Canales waits to announce it. What did he learn between last week and today about his aggressiveness or his confidence in Germany that made the announcement happen now and not then? Right? He spoke to the media early last week. By that point, I assume he knows how aggressive and or confident Bryce was the Sunday morning Eastern time out there in Germany. Why did he wait? I don't get it. And I will acknowledge this, right? Because I've heard it from many on Twitter and some in my email and callers. This one comes from at WFHAGM. I don't know. There you go. On Twitter. Maybe it's a Bryce plays better when he feels he needs to prove it kind of thing. Before he won the Heisman Natty and after were two different stories at Bama. Maybe he needs to be the one chasing. Well, actually, just to correct a little bit there. I believe he won the Natty as a backup. His Heisman year was not the year they won the national championship. It was the Mac Jones year they won the national championship.
Correct.
He got the last snap, right? He went in there for the end. But he did win the Heisman, so you're saying after the Heisman he wasn't as good. You might also argue after losing most of his really good wide receivers, he wasn't as good. But he was still very, very good his senior year. If that's the case, this is a bigger problem than I thought. If that's the case, you might as well tell Bryce, we're cutting you. If he gets named the starter after losing his job a couple months ago on one of the worst teams in the NFL with absolutely no individual success really to speak of, and suddenly now he loses an edge, get him out of there. I don't think that's the case. I think you might even build his confidence even further if you name him the starter. Quarterback, and again, we could do this every week. It's a different deal than other positions. Canales also said today, because Ike Ekwonu's back at left tackle, Dave Canales told the media that there's now a decision to be made between Brady Christensen and Cade Mays at center, which is a tough decision, right? Offensive line, two guys. Christensen is a good player. He's played well at center. Cade Mays, because Christensen had to move to tackle, Cade Mays stepped in at center, and he battled Dexter Lawrence out there in Germany, this year especially, the best interior defensive lineman in the league. And he played well against him. Take your time to figure out that competition. Christensen or Mays, let them battle it out. Quarterback is not that. It's not. It's you can't play quarterback harder. I keep saying that. Right? If you tell a running back, hey, if you don't start producing, you're going to lose your job. They are going to strain through the run. They are going to fight for extra yards. They can be angry and play better. Offensive line, same deal. You're going to strain extra hard. You're going to power through your blocks extra hard. If you're a quarterback, you can't read faster and angrier. You can't squeeze the ball tighter. It's a confidence thing. You want to play loose. Go watch any pregame deal, right? If the quarterback's not the guy in the middle of the huddle doing the Drew Brees, right? Like 1, fight, 2, win, whatever that thing is. Quarterbacks will be on the outside. There'll be a linebacker, a tight end, a lineman of some kind in the middle, and they'll be going, we got to go in there and tear their head off, and we're going to fight hard, we're going to be physical, and the quarterback will be on the outside, low heart rate, chilling. Because quarterback is different. Bryce Young, I believe, he's the guy. Which, by the way, everybody knows he's the guy. Going back to Andy Dalton doesn't make any sense. I don't think the Chiefs, in preparation for the Bills, who they played Sunday, were somehow confused by are we going to prepare for Andy Dalton or Bryce in the 14 hours after their game against Buffalo before Coach Canales named the starter?
And up until yesterday's game, the Chiefs' defense has been playing surprisingly well all season. I don't even think they would have been too worried as to who the starting quarterback is either way for the Panthers.
Matter of fact, you might say the old Panthers are about to get an angry version of the Chiefs after losing their undefeated season to the Bills over the weekend. They definitely don't care who the quarterback is. Name Bryce the starter for the rest of the year. I don't see why it's not happening. And again, I'm nitpicking. They end the last 3 weeks or whatever, they've ended on the right answer, right? They've come to with Bryce Young as the starter. So if you have to, you do go through whatever. It's better than naming anyone else the starter is naming Bryce the starter late. I am completely acknowledging that we are nitpicking here. I just don't get it, and it frustrates me.
No, I'm with you. I mean, yeah, they've done the right thing as far as naming him the starter. They've reached the end goal, which is a win the past 2 weeks. But I agree with what you said a couple of weeks back after one of Dave Canales' press availabilities. Dave, show me that you have confidence in your young quarterback once. Just come straight up and say.
Even if it impacts football 0, it's the mystery of it that gets me. If every time Dave Canales ended an interview, he said hey, 45 times 12 is 9, and then he just walked off, it would impact nothing, but I would still be sitting there going, what does 45 times, I forget what I said, 45 times 12 is 9, what does that mean?
How much more do you have to evaluate? How many times do you have to go back and check the tape? How many times does Bryce Young have to go out there and lead a game-winning drive or play convincingly well?
I don't care if he plays bad. Andy Dalton is 37 years old.
Yeah, there's no future for the Panthers with Andy Dalton.
You're gathering information on Bryce. Right? If he continues to win, then maybe he's your guy next year. If he turns back into a pumpkin and he turns the ball over a bunch, then he's definitely not your guy next year. Gathering information is important here. I just don't understand it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, we have Chris in South Carolina on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. As I said earlier, we'll do our best to get all of our Monday sound-offs on the air. So if you have something you want to sound off on, 919-860-5326. Chris has been waiting patiently down there in South Carolina. Chris, thanks for calling in. What do you want to sound off on?
Hey, Tim, I want to get your take on your alma mater, Delaware, joining Conference USA.
All right, I like it.
Think about that.
I mean, I love it. I think we should have been Division I back when or FBS back when I was playing. Are you? Why are you asking? Do you have some kind of connection? Are you a fan of someone in Conference USA?
No, I'm a former Blue Hen. So that's why I wanted to kind of get your take on that, brother.
heck yeah, man! Blue Hens for life. Welcome on the show anytime. Appreciate the call though. We'll move on here, but I will give you my thoughts here before we head to break. I think there's a few sleeping giants in FCS. I think Delaware's been one for a long time, and the reason why I say that is it's a big school, state school, a lot of enrollment. There's money there. Money makes everything go around. We have some big names, the Rich Gannons, the Joe Flaccos, and I love our coach. I think Ryan Carty is the real deal. So Conference USA fans out there, watch out. The Hens are coming. Should we go full Deion Sanders? We coming. That's me getting hyped about my alma mater. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Another hen on the show. I like it. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we have the Ladder Challenge. For the first time this year, since doing the Ladder Challenge, I've completely doubled my money, and I'm looking to stay hot. I'll give you the pick coming up next. Stick around.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Houston and Dallas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it!
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Skip the Black Friday madness this year with Diamonds Direct. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
She heard an ad for My Computer Career and jumped in feet first.
Taking exams and getting certified in a matter of just months.
Even better, you can work from anywhere.
Wherever you are. If you're on vacation, you can still clock in. I work out of my house in my pajamas.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them.
Launch a new high-demand career in IT or level up with more certifications. Build a career in record time with less money.
I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone. Indeed, it was the right move for me.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Right now, save 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th, so schedule an in-home estimate at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-0628. That's 800-291-0628. 800-291-0628.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's a Monday. It's a sound-off Monday. It's a Monday sound-off, as you know. And what that means is our phone lines are open throughout the show, and we work to get as many of you on the show to sound off on what you're stewing on from the weekend. Could be to brag about your team. Could be to discuss, maybe ask a question that you don't think we've considered. Or there's always the venting as well. Heister Automotive Group hotline is the way to join the show, 919-860-5326. We'll take Ryan from Oxford on the show right now. Ryan, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for having me. I just wanted to go ahead and
say this as a Browns fan. I'm from Fremont, Ohio, home of Charles Woodson. I don't know if you ever heard of him or not.
I've heard of Charles Woodson. Didn't play for the Browns, but I've heard of him.
Exactly. It kind of breaks my heart. But as a Browns fan, everyone complains about the Panthers wanting to complain about Bryce Young and whatnot. I think Bryce Young is doing a lot better situation right now than the Cleveland Browns. We haven't done anything in the past 2 seasons since signing Deshaun Watson. Our only hope was Joe Flacco. But at the same time, I don't know how much more I can take. I've been alive for 27 years, and I've only seen us almost go. Never a playoff win, nothing.
Hey, I appreciate the call. I'm with you. And I think Panthers fans want to give a solid hat tip to the Browns because that Deshaun Watson trade makes it so maybe the Bryce trade isn't the worst one of the last 10 years.
Well, I mean, there's also more factors to it. I mean, people talking about getting rid of Myles Garrett. I mean, arguably, we need him because he's the only thing right now keeping our defense together. I mean, we could get Denzel Ward, but at the same time, do I really want to keep buying more and more jerseys? Not really.
I'm with it. I appreciate it. And as always, I mean, this is a good place to vent on a Monday sound off. So thank you for calling in. If I had advice for Browns fans, it would probably be if you're buying a jersey, buy like Jim Brown. Right? Buy somebody who's a legend because I'm not sure Myles Garrett will be there a ton longer. Also, Cedric Tillman's a nice little find. So maybe he ends up being a player you can build around. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go ahead and jump to our ladder challenge, shall we? So did Dennis win his, Graham?
Actually, I need Dennis to text me back. I just texted him during the commercial break, so hopefully
we'll find
in the
out.
next 5 minutes.
We'll keep you posted on Dennis's. What we try to do here is we try to find a bet that we are likely to win, meaning minus 500 to minus 1,000. We bet it, and if we hit the next show, we roll it over, we roll it over, we roll it over. Basically trying to use compound interest as a thing so we can have a whole bunch of money by the end of the month. Whoever has the most money at the end of the month is the winner. If you lose a bet, you go back to square one, which is $10. I am officially up to $21.49. I've doubled my money by getting small bets right over and over again. I had Jared Goff to throw 1 or more touchdown passes versus Jacksonville. He ended up throwing 3. The Lions offense may have had the best offensive performance of any game of any offense all season. One of the reasons I liked the bet was because Amon-Ra St. Brown going into the game had 7 straight games with a touchdown. Make it 8. He opened the scoring or opened the touchdown passes for the Lions with a touchdown. So I hit. It was a minus 550 bet, which again pushed me to. Oh, sorry, it was I don't know, minus 700. I forget what it was. The bet I'm betting today is minus 550. Hopefully, trying to turn that 21.49 into 25.39. Graham, did your bet hit?
I can tell you one thing. Going back to Dennis's bet on Friday, it did not hit because he took he took Vegas Golden Knights plus 2.5 goals over the Utah Hockey Club. Vegas won 4-2 Friday against Utah. So
he took he took Vegas plus.
Yeah, Vegas plus 2.5,
and they won.
Yeah,
so he did hit.
Oh, he did hit. I thought he. Sorry, 2.5.
You got me excited for no reason, Graham.
That's my fault. I read that wrong.
Yeah, you were thinking minus.
Yes, I was thinking
which
minus.
Which would have been a much bigger payout than the ones we're looking for. So he's still alive. He's probably over $30 now.
Yes, he is because that paid out at $30.30. So he's right at 30.
Tripled his money. I'm trying to chase him down. Hopefully in 12 days and before the rest of the month, 13 days the rest of the month. I don't know.
Carolina had me worried in the first half for mine. I took Carolina minus 24.5.
Carolina, UNC basketball. Men.
I was very concerned in the first half against American, but then in the second half I blinked and all of a sudden they were up by 50. So that hit, I'm up I'm up $10.18. Tonight, Monday Night Football, why not? Battle in the Lone Star State, Houston, Texas versus Dallas Cowboys. Give me C.J. Stroud 1 or more passing touchdowns at minus 670.
This has never happened before. Dennis and I have been doing this for months now. This has never happened before. I have C.J. Stroud 1 or more touchdown passes.
Wow. There you go. So we're both riding the same.
Versus Dallas tonight on Monday Night Football. So but you and I will either triumph together or now we're playing craps instead of playing like poker. One of us is not the winner. We can win as a table. We can get excited.
Correct.
Nico Collins is back. I mean, we could do the whole rundown. Nico Collins is back. I did some math. Stroud has thrown a touchdown in every game Nico Collins has played this year. Going back to last September 17th, C.J. Stroud has thrown a touchdown in all but one game that Nico Collins has played. Dallas gives up the 9th most touchdown passes per game to quarterbacks this year. And Deron Bland has been ruled out with a foot injury already for Dallas. He was a first-team All-Pro corner last season. I know that Houston has stunk, but kind of so has Dallas. So I think C.J. Stroud gets at least one. It's a minus 550 bet. If it wins, I'll have 25.39. In my battle against Graham, our little side bet, if it hits, I will have 15.61.
I need to go back and do my math real quick and see what I would have. I would have $11.67.
There it is.
Should we call Dennis?
We don't have to call him, but if he wants to send in his pick, we'll make sure that people know it because he's on a heater. He's been right for weeks now, and we don't want to rob the people of that if they've been tailing his picks and tripling their money. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the ladder challenge. If you can keep it rolling, it'll probably be 2+ shots on goal by someone in some obscure NHL game, and he'll probably hit. Let's get to the podium. Another staple here on a Monday. Somebody's going to be off the podium. Someone's getting a bronze. Someone's getting a silver. Someone's getting a gold. The participants are the 4 ACC programs in the state of North Carolina. And during this crossover part of the schedule where football and men's basketball have crossed over, it is a hybrid. So both results are in play, and it is just over the last week. Who had the best week out of the 4 teams from the state of North Carolina in the Atlantic Coast Conference? Off the podium, because not everybody gets a trophy here on the Drive, Wake Forest. Wake Forest had a tough week. Their football team lost to UNC 31-24 and got bullied in the way of everybody knew Omarian Hampton was getting the ball, and there was nothing Wake Forest could do about it. 40 touches for Omarian Hampton, well over 200 yards, a touchdown, had a couple touchdowns vultured, Jacoby Criswell with the rushing touchdown down on the goal line. But Wake Forest football didn't do great. Men's basketball did beat South Carolina Upstate, but they were losing with, I think, 4 minutes to play against South Carolina Upstate.
Yeah.
South Carolina Upstate is a team that NC State beat by 30, Virginia Tech beat by 20, and they were leading Wake Forest down the stretch, even though Wake Forest came away with the win. And then men's basketball lost at Xavier. Xavier is a good team, so it's not like a horrendous loss, but it's a loss is a loss nonetheless. And to make up for the lackluster win against SC Upstate, USCU, would have had to been a pretty good win against Xavier to overcome that in our little rankings here. So Wake Forest, lick your wounds, come back next week, try to be better. I still think the talent on their team is there, especially for I'm talking men's basketball. They've got some dudes. They just need to put it together. Bronze goes to NC State. Football was on a bye week. Not much you can do there. Although I would argue Casey Concepcion's little brother decommitting from state, which happened
last night.
I think it was last night. I saw it early this morning. That's a tough one on your bye week because it's going to raise suspicions that one of your better players, Casey Concepcion, maybe hinted to his brother that there was reason to not go to NC State.
I mean, that just feels like a loss in itself.
So that's, even a bye week, you can have not 100% positive vibes. Men's basketball did beat Coastal 82-70, so give them credit there. Just wasn't a super dominant victory, which, doesn't really get everybody all riled up. So on a bye week, they beat Coastal, but not by enough. Part of it is just they don't have enough entries. Part of it is they didn't overwhelm me with positives on any of their entries. Bronze goes to NC State.
I mean, the only positive they have is that even though they've played back-to-back wire games, because Presbyterian was close too, they never trailed in either one of those games. They just struggled to shut the door on their opponents. But a win's a win. Some might argue they might have their toughest test tonight against Colgate, but I know we'll get into that later.
I agree.
On the show.
I mean, I definitely think it's their toughest test yet, but you're right. We will get to that a little bit later on. That'll be in next week's podium, right? The games, this award is 1 week, but it ends at the show. So anything after the show goes into next week's podium offerings. Silver, I went with Duke. Football also on a bye week, but obviously I don't think had any little bits of bad news. Men's basketball did lose to Kentucky, but both UNC and Duke had losses early in their season to top 25 basketball opponents, and I've said this on air. I left more confident in both of them after the loss for what they will be at the end of the year. Obviously, right now, a loss is a loss, no moral victories. But there were things that I think they can take from it that'll make them better at the end of the year. And then they absolutely mollywopped Wofford. 86-35. It's the fewest points that Duke has given up in a shot clock era game. Cooper Flagg, let's go to Cooper Flagg, a little audio here on what was working well from behind the arc.
I mean, I think we're a very well shooting team overall. I think we'll shoot a high percentage this year. That was kind of just one game. Shots weren't falling. So that's what it comes down to. We're going to stay confident and stay ready to shoot.
There's a few things I want to get at here. One is Duke seems fiery. That's different than the last few years. I think the reason why they held Wofford at 35 is because they were still mad about the Kentucky loss, which is good, right? Kyle Filipowski, by the way, is playing great in the NBA. Jared McCain playing great in the NBA. Jared McCain, I believe, is the betting favorite to be Rookie of the Year. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Roach. I'm a big fan of Mark Mitchell. These guys that were core members of Duke last year. They don't strike me as the fieriest competitors that and Roach and Mitchell maybe weren't even like the emotional leads of the team. Kyle Filipowski whined a lot. A lot of people know about it, right? Every shot missed was hands to the sky looking at the ref. Come on. Jared McCain plays better with a smile on his face than a scowl. This year's team does appear to be like kind of looking for a fight. Right, little more anger there, and I think that's what showed against Wofford. They lost the Kentucky game. Whoever was next on the schedule was going to get their anger, and that better translate to Arizona and Kansas and Auburn coming up in their next 4 games. That's the silver for Duke. Let's go gold. UNC, the only team in the ACC from the state of North Carolina that walks away with a football win. They beat Wake 31-24, and it was the kind of win that had me walking away questioning whether Ashton Genty is actually the best running back in the country or if that is Omarian Hampton because of his versatility. Mac Brown, after the game, talked about how talented of a player Omarian Hampton is.
When we weren't moving the ball or blocking very well for him in the third quarter, he's quiet, but I saw him slip down and go to every offensive lineman and just tap him on the head and say, "We're good. Come on. Let's finish this thing." So he's got such a gentle strength of leadership about him. But he's one of the best players and people that I've ever been around, and really, really proud of what he's accomplished. And we've said before that he could have left here very easily in a time of NIL where people are talking to your players and they're leaving for always greener grass, and he stayed here, and it's worked for him too.
Yeah, I'd say it's worked for him too. 244 yards rushing. 35 carries, 244 yards rushing and a touchdown. Also had 5 catches for 16 yards. It's an absolutely bananas game. And you know what I said? I said on Friday the win was somewhere on the other side of 30-plus touches for Omarian Hampton. And sure enough, it was. A win and 40 touches is what happened. And then give men's basketball credit versus American University, the UNC men's team, 107-55. That's a shellacking as good as anything. And I like stats, individual stats, don't do much for me in these blowouts against overmatched opponents unless there's something I'm looking for specifically. Cade Tyson knocking down 3 threes I think is important because he's a guy that has had a hard time getting any minutes and is a shooter that probably should have some kind of role, even if it's just come out and break zones, knock down threes. Drake Powell, the rookie or freshman, I should say, for UNC. Ian Jackson didn't play with a day-to-day injury. Drake Powell needs to be on the floor. He is unbelievably talented. He had 3 blocks that were all highlights. One of them,
the craziest block I've ever seen in my life.
He caught a layup. Some guard off of American tried to put up a layup. Drake Powell jumped and caught it. 2 hands. Didn't touch. Like, it's not like he pinned it against the backboard. Like, I don't know if everybody's seen. Michael Jordan did that on the Wizards, where he pinned it and kind of caught it, and that was the thing. He just jumped up and caught it. It was unbelievable. Like, Drake Powell may not be nuanced and high whatever enough for UNC yet, right? Oh, you don't know how to react in every situation. We need you to be perfect in decision-making. He may not be there yet. They need to get him there as quickly as they can because that much physical ability needs to be on the floor.
Not only that, he jumped over the guard to get the block.
It was unreal. And, I mean, he needs to be on the floor. That's what I'm getting at. And I'll give Elliot Cadeau some credit. His scoring appears to have jumped up. He still had the 8 assists, but he looks much more confident hunting his own shot.
I was going to give credit to Jalen Washington. Also had 18 points, and he had a great and-one shot that he went through 3 defenders to get to the basket.
Washington, Davis, Trimble, they played well, but I mean, I can't learn anything. But we knew they were good, right? Those guys are veterans. They've been around. Having good games against American aren't going to do it, which is why stats don't matter against those games. I think the eye test matters and certain things you're looking for matter. But UNC, I mean, you win on the football field, you dominate in the basketball court the way they did. It was an easy gold for me. And that's it for the podium here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I just gave I just gave UNC the gold medal. Now I'm going to sit here and talk about a former Duke quarterback being benched. This is a good little segment here for Tar Heel fans. Daniel Jones' contract, former Duke quarterback Daniel Jones, his contract is one of his biggest career accomplishments. Do not get it twisted. I have a stat here that is absolutely bananas when it comes to his contract, and I'll tell you in a second. It also may have been the thing, that contract may have been the thing that ultimately ended his run as a starting quarterback. Now for the good. Here's why it's an accomplishment. Daniel Jones has made over $108 million in 70 games of work for the Giants. He makes over $1 million per game for the games he played for the Giants when it's all said and done. He is the 35th highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Daniel Jones is top 35 all time right now in quarterback compensation, just behind Andrew Luck with $109 million. That is an unbelievable accomplishment. Over $100 million, yes, taxes, yes, agent fees, yes, manager fees. I get you. But what is he clearing? $60, $65 million? Maybe less? I don't know. 50? That is generational, life-changing money from every aspect. Congrats. However, he was benched today for Tommy DeVito. Tommy Cutlets. Right? Make the hand motion.
We're so back.
I don't think that's a move that happens in a vacuum. I think if it's just who gives you the best chance to win, I still think it's Daniel Jones. His running ability is different. His physical ability is just above what Tommy DeVito can do. But here's the deal with the contract. If Daniel Jones gets hurt to the point that he can't pass a physical in March, $23 million more of his next year's salary is guaranteed. Giants can't risk it. So guess what? Not only is he benched for Tommy DeVito, I believe this is true, and obviously it won't be confirmed until game day. I believe second string is going to be Drew Lock. Because this is not about benching Daniel Jones saying it's what's best for the team. It's about benching Daniel Jones saying we can't afford for him to get hurt and guarantee that money for next year. If it were truly they thought Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock was the best chance to win, Daniel Jones is definitely the number 2. Because he has experience and he can go into the game and he knows the offense and everybody else knows how he likes it. He's been practicing with him. He's been working with him. If he's 3, it's all about the contract. So the contract might be his biggest career accomplishment. It also might be the thing that expedited his end with the Giants. But guess what else the contract does? You ready for a spin zone here? Puts Daniel Jones at a bit of an advantage for his next stop. What does Daniel Jones have? Time and money. Where does Daniel Jones play next year? This move is pretty much saying, not the Giants. He's out of New York City unless the Jets give him a call, right? He gone. He'll have the option, once they cut him, to go wherever he wants to go. And he has time to evaluate, meaning right now the Giants just made it obvious that he's not coming back, and he can discuss it with his agent, his advisors, he can talk to whoever he needs to talk to, and he doesn't have to make a decision for money. right? If this were his second contract, if he were looking for his first giant payday, he might be still inclined to go, I'm going to go wherever the biggest cash pile awaits, because even if it's, $4 million a year versus $2 million a year, because he's still trying to get that generational wealth, still trying to make sure his kids don't have to worry about paying their college tuition. But now he has $100 million plus in career earnings, and he can go wherever he sees fit and make the money work once he decides the best place. No one's going to be giving him a guaranteed starting spot. Nobody is going to say, Daniel Jones is our franchise guy, let's give him all the money. But somebody might say, we're going to bring him in for a competition. There might be 4 teams that say bring him in for a competition. If he wins, he can start. Or if this rookie isn't ready, he can start. Let him and his agent look around and say, I think this spot is best for me. Right? Let he and his agent look around and say, I think that spot is best for me. If you have to compete with a rookie, what rookie do you want to compete against? Shedeur Sanders or Garrett Nussmeier? Right? Do you want to go compete with Bryce Young? Maybe Carolina brings him in as a veteran to compete with Bryce Young if they think they're going back to Bryce. You can pick your spot because you don't have to worry about cash. And that is pretty much a superpower. Because everybody else has to worry about cash. You got $100 million in career earnings saying you don't have to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, the Heaster Automotive Group hotline is open today. 919-860-5326. We call it a Monday sound off, which means you can call in and sound off on whatever you want to sound off on. We kind of have a roadmap for the show, but if you want to grab the wheel for 30 seconds, feel free. 919-860-5326. Go ahead and call in. When we come back, I'm calling an audible here, Graham, just so you know. We were going to talk a little bit more Canes, but before we do that, I didn't talk enough about the wins over the weekend by UNC basketball and Duke basketball. We'll touch on that. We will get to the Canes and so much more. It's coming up next. I appreciate all of you that call in, and I want more of you to do it. 919-860-5326 for a Monday sound off. Also, right here, right now, Capital Financial. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Right now, Coach Pete will help you regain control of your foundation for retirement and see you to and through a worry-free retirement. Call now for Coach Pete's famous and elaborate total retirement plan. You may say famous. Really? Yeah. This guy is a multiple-time best-selling author. He hosts multiple national radio shows. He's been doing this for 3+ decades, getting everybody, including people like you, set for retirement. Not just to retirement, but through retirement. Coach Pete and his team at Capital Financial, despite being locally owned and operated right here in the Triangle, they are known throughout the industry. Coach Pete and his team develop total and customized retirement plans so you can secure and maintain both confidence and control in your finances. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, getting you through that financial red zone, over the goal line, and into that retirement end zone. So give him a call. The number is 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Just make sure you let them know you heard about it. You heard about it. That's a weird way to... Just make sure they know that you heard it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me. I don't know where that accent came from. If you want to, you can also just text my name and Tim to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700 here on 99.9 The Fan. They'll know what that means. We'll take a break. When we come back, more basketball talk, more Canes talk, and any of you that want to sound off on the phone line, 919-860-5326, continuing next.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
The Black Friday sales event is happening right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and the savings are huge. Get $13,000 off any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn, or take advantage of 0% for 72 months on a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, Chrysler Pacifica 4xe, Dodge Hornet RT, or a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Awesome choices and savings, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Experience Hendrix. Music's great. Perform the music of Jimi Hendrix together live. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Christone Kingfish Ingram, Zach Wilde, Eric Johnson, Devin Allman, Samantha Fish, Noah Hunt, Ali Venable, Chuck Campbell and Calvin Cook of the Slide Brothers, Mato Nanji, Dylan Triplett, Henry Brown, Chris Layton, Kevin McCormick. April 6th, the D-Pack. Tickets on sale now at dpacknc.com.
Lowe's honors our military community this Veterans Day and every day. To say thank you, verified military members, veterans, and their spouses get 10% off everyday purchases, plus free silver key status with My Lowe's Rewards. It's our way of showing our gratitude to the brave people who have and continue to serve our country. Learn more now at lowes.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with another offer. Exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have another Monday sound-off caller looking to jump in. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Feel free to use the call-in line to get whatever feelings, thoughts, ideas you have off your chest from the weekend. That's what Monday Sound Off is for. We go to Justin in Raleigh up right here. Again, that phone number, 919-860-5326 if you want to join. Justin, thank you for calling in. What do you want to sound off on?
Thanks for having me. Hot take, NFL, Baltimore Ravens. That loss yesterday was the worst loss I've seen being a Ravens fan since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
What was so? We all watched the game. What was so bad about it?
When you think about the context of the whole game, the turnovers, the missed field goals, the miscues on both sides of the ball on special teams, and to lose, you had it.
So saying both or all three phases of the game, you're not giving the defense any credit for holding the Steelers to 0 touchdowns?
I give them plenty of credit, but, when you end up in a situation like the game yesterday, you got to look at the whole team and say, what is going on with this team? That was a demoralizing loss beyond anything I can put in words. It just stung so much more than the scorebook would, make you think it would.
Now, don't take this the wrong way, because my wife and all of my in-laws are from Baltimore. So and obviously Joe Flacco is my guy because he played at the University of Delaware just like I did. I know some pretty brutal losses for the Baltimore Ravens. The Lee Evans drop, some of the postseason losses. You're putting this one as more frustrating and more brutal than any of those?
To be honest with you, yeah. I mean, we walked.
What was the kicker? Who was the kicker that missed the field goal? Billy something.
Billy Cundiff.
There it is.
2011 championship game. No one had us in that game. The fact that they came down to the last play was a miracle. No one had Baltimore winning that game. Yesterday, I think all of the major outlets had Baltimore as the favorite, betting favorite and percentage to win favorite. Everyone had Baltimore as the favorite. And Pittsburgh came out and made us look terrible.
All right. I appreciate the call. I'm just going to be honest with you. It seems a little over the top to me. It seems, and again, thank you for calling, so call back in anytime. Seems a little over the top to me. I still think the Ravens are a very good team. I picked them to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. I'm not wavering from it. Matter of fact, I mean, they've been the best team in the regular season, maybe once or twice in the last 4 or 5 years. I think facing a little adversity early might make them a little bit better for the postseason.
I mean, it does sting knowing that in an 18-16 game, because we all had that on our bingo card when the Ravens and Steelers were going to face each other. Even when it came down to a kicking duel.
Yep.
Justin Tucker, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Security Deposit for your team.
Oh, he hasn't been that this year. That actually might be the most frustrating
John
part.
Harbaugh might want to come out and just say that Justin Tucker has an injury or something.
He said
that
Tuck has to start making kicks, and I don't disagree with him at all. I'll tell you right now, fans are reactive. We had a Chiefs fan call in, not happy about the Chiefs. They're
After their first loss.
They're 9-1, just lost their first game. We had a
Cleveland Browns fan saying
that one makes sense. But now we have a Ravens fan calling in. Panthers fans have to be like, we'll trade. You can be the Panthers. We'll be the Ravens or Chiefs. That's pretty tough there. Jonathan in Chapel Hill next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline on a Monday sound off, 919-860-5326. Jonathan, thank you for calling in. What do you want to sound off on?
Evening, Tim. I don't know about you, but I've heard a lot of static lately about how Aho's just not having a year. He's just not having a year, and particularly about his goals. His scoring at 5-on-5. And I'm not stepping up to the ledge yet because I think he's got a different job this year. I think his job is to feed a couple of guys, namely Savech and Ross, who have noses for the net. And if he gets 100 assists, he's going to cry all the way to the bank.
The hard part with the Aho conversation, and I've been on it, having the same conversations that you're having, probably talking to a lot of the same people. It is a small sample size, right? 17 games doesn't feel like enough to make hard and fast decisions. But if we acknowledge what you're saying is true and his role has changed, he actually averages just a hair fewer assists per game than he did last season. He's averaging about half as many goals per game and just, a fraction of a fraction fewer assists per game. The reason why I've been doing what you're doing and kind of talking myself away from making it into something bigger than it is because the Canes keep winning. And I think Aho is a winning player, and he understands kind of where he's needed and where he's not. But I don't think his role has changed as much as some are saying as far as distributing more, because we're just not seeing the stats line that up.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coach's decision. I think it's just that Aho's like, hey, I got a couple slingers.
All right,
so he's not feeling the pressure. That's just.
All right, I appreciate it. Appreciate the call. The Aho deal, and every time we've talked about it, and we have, because it's part of the story of the Canes. He's 17 games in. He is significantly under his normal points or goals per game rate. He is under his points per game of any year, albeit close to the 2022-2023 season. You have to go back to his second year in the league to find a year where he had less points per game than he has right now. But again, very close to 2 years ago. The hardest part for me when dealing with this is I am just a huge fan of his game, and I think he sees the bigger picture. He's setting guys up and maybe they're not finishing, and I'm going, that's a pass that probably deserved to be an assist. Or he's taking a shot and it's, for whatever reason, not going through. I'm going, that shot maybe deserved to be a goal. The question is, and it always will be, how big is a big enough sample size to truly start making decisions? But we'll use the same on the opposite side. Martin Necas, as of right now, through 17 games, is on pace for 144 points. That's not going to happen either, right? So at what point do we look at somebody's kind of rate stats, his on pace for stats, and believe them? I'm not sitting here thinking. Actually, I'll do the math real quickly here for you. Aho right now is 0.88 points per game. 0.88 times 82. He's on pace for 72 points. I don't think that's a good season for Sebastian Aho. But also, I don't think your points per game at 17 points or 17 games in is necessarily going to be true, right? He has one 4-point night I don't know, 2 4-point nights in the next 2 weeks, could be way up there again, right? But also Martin Necas, 144 points per game. I don't think that's going to stick. I don't think suddenly Martin Necas is a 53 goal, 91 assist guy. Obviously being facetious here. So it's a question of, I think we're all acknowledging, right? Everybody that watches the Canes just feel like it's been a while since we've seen Aho, knock home a couple even strength goals, right? You feel I haven't seen it, right? It's walking in your house and there's like a picture that's been there the whole time you had the houses off the wall and you're just like, something's kind of different here.
Yeah.
But we also are all smart enough to go, Aho's been really good for a while. The Canes are winning, so it's not like he has to start pressing and taking over. Martin Necas is going bananas, so it's not like he has to be the main point producer on the team. Do I wish he produced more? Do I wish he had more even strength goals? Yes, but I'm fighting the same way it sounded like the caller is fighting to not go down the path of, is something actually wrong here, because we don't believe anything is actually wrong. It's just we need to play out the string and let it kind of come back to the mean.
Two things. First, sticking with Sebastian Aho for a second, I think every Carolina Hurricanes fans know that he'll probably have another 30 or more plus goal season this year. Mm-hmm. He kind of went through the same thing last year and coincidentally enough got uncorked in the game against the Senators like he did with the power play goal this past Saturday. You mentioned he's on pace, just on the math that you do on the top of your head, which is always dangerous to do on air. He's on pace to have how many points this season?
He's rudimentally, right, because it's 0.88 points per game right now. Obviously, that might go on to more decimals. But if you multiply that out by 82 games, that'd be 72 points.
And hypothetically, that's not a good season for Sebastian Aho. A good regular season. Now, I will say this.
That would be on pace for, again, that 2022-2023 season would kind of be how it plays out, but he only played in 75 games.
I don't know how many Hurricanes fans I speak for when I say this, but like Jonathan mentioned, with the amount of talent and depth they have this year, I would much rather trade a bad regular season for Sebastian Aho to see a good playoff version of Sebastian Aho, because that's something I feel like that's been lacking with this team the past couple of seasons, that they don't have a go-to scorer, and it makes me so mad because I feel like it should be Sebastian Aho every year.
Actually, maybe I contributed to this, so I'll put my hand up on this one. I watch Sebastian Aho, and I see a 90 or 100-point guy. Right, I watch it, and the amount of good plays he makes, the amount of times he set up his teammates, his ability to score when it feels like it's necessary, right? The overtime goals being the best example of that. I'm watching going, he's a 90 or 100-point guy. His career high is 89. That came last year. He has an 81-point season, so he has an 83-point season. So, like, we've seen him knock on the door. I think he's a 90 or 100-point guy, and he's on pace for 73. Does that mean he's going to end with 73? I don't think so. I don't think we're to the point yet where rate stats, meaning point per game stats, should be expected to play out for the year. But I'm monitoring it. I'm noticing it.
Sticking on hockey, and then we got to pay some bills. I have my pick from Dennis.
Okay.
So just want to get in.
This is for the ladder challenge for those of you that have been tailing Dennis as he's tripled his money over the last couple weeks.
Correct. Dennis wanted to remind us that he won last week, and that he wants to let us know that tonight he's picking Nathan MacKinnon 2 or more shots on goal for the Colorado Avalanche. $30 would win him $34.
34. He started with $10. He's been rolling over his winnings every single day, and he's up to potentially 34 by tomorrow. If we said Nathan MacKinnon gets 2 or more shots on goal, which hockey fans know seems like a good bet. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Did I just give him the jinx? Did I just give him the kiss of death on that one? Potentially. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. According to industry experts, the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, to be specifically, heating costs are going up again this winter by up to 23%. Do you know how you can help combat that? Get Window Nation windows in your windows, in your house, all over the place. Why? They're excellently insulated. The materials are top of the notch. The installation is unbelievable. And because of everything I just told you and so much more science that goes into these windows, your energy bill can come down. How about that? So the cost of energy goes up, but your energy usage goes down because your windows are more efficient. You might break even while everybody else is paying a whole bunch more. One of their customers over at Window Nation, Albert, says great value, great product, and great customer service. Highly recommend. I will second all of that, specifically the customer service. My family and I have gone through the entire situation, and what I can tell you is they feel like experts. When I talk to somebody about putting windows in my house, I want them to feel like a window expert. If I talk to somebody about, resealing my driveway, I want to get the feeling that every day you wake up thinking about sealing driveways. It is a true window company. They're not a jack of all trades, master of none. They are a jack of window trades, and they are a master of it very, very well. So 50% off all window styles plus 0% interest for 60 months is the deal. It'd be a deal even if they didn't offer the deal, but they are, so take advantage of it. 50% off all window styles plus 0 interest for 60 months. To set up a free, no obligation presentation as well as a estimate, go ahead and give them a call. 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com. The starting five is coming up next. We talk more Carolina and Duke basketball, which I wanted to do a minute ago, but we'll have to push it because we've got too much going on. Starting five coming up right after this.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Get your dream Honda during Happy Honda Days with a CR-V Hybrid, Accord Hybrid, Civic Hybrid, or the all-electric Prologue. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic Hybrid, a 3.9% APR on a 2025 CR-V Hybrid, and a 0.9% APR on a 2024 Prologue.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 12/28, in-store only.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Week 11 isn't over, people. We've got a good one tonight. Well, it's a good one if you're a Houston Texans fan. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, wants you to still get in on the fun even though Week 11 is almost over. New customers, $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins on tonight's game. By the way, the Cowboys at home, minus 94 in 4 home losses. They have not won a home game yet. Minus 94. I think you might want to take Houston giving the points. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold and make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. They score!
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We had a mild afternoon, a milder night ahead, partly cloudy, the low around 50. Your Tuesday is partly to mostly cloudy, still mild, the high 72. We have the chance for some showers into Tuesday night and the first part of the day Wednesday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day down 55 points at 43,389. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, Panther fans out there, join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night. Oh, sorry, I said Panther fans, didn't I? I meant Canes fans. Canes fans, join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night at the Cary Carolina Ale House. Should I start this over? I've been stumbling through it. Let's hit it with more energy, shall we, Graham? Join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night at the Cary Carolina Ale House with Victoria, who you hear producing the Adam Gold Show every day, from 7 to 9 p.m. this Thursday for a Canes ticket stop. They will be giving away a pair of Canes tickets every 8 minutes to see the Islanders on December 17th at the Islanders game against the Canes on December 17th. So go out to the Cary Carolina Ale House, 7 to 9 p.m. this Thursday. Hang out with Victoria and the crew and win big. You must be there to claim your prize. So if you want a pair of tickets to see the Canes and Islanders, Cary Carolina Ale House this Thursday, 7 o'clock. Now let's get into the starting five, starting with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
UNC men's basketball and Duke men's basketball both got dramatic victories over overmatched opponent over the weekend. And I don't mean dramatic like close. I mean dramatic like they rolled.
Railroaded them.
Let's learn what we can learn from the two games, starting with UNC. They beat American University over the weekend. I'm gonna lean on this for this segment here real quick. Stats don't matter in a game like that unless there is a specific reason to care about them. Elliot Cadeau stepped up as a scorer. He is confidently taking threes. And even after games where maybe the threes aren't falling, he's still confidently taking threes as a point guard jumping into his second year. That matters. Putting that on tape matters. So now other teams don't sag off you in pick and roll situations because they know you will pull the trigger on a three. Cade Tyson, transfer, not only played 20-plus minutes, took 7 threes and made 3 of them. He needs to have that in his arsenal or else he's not going to play at all like he didn't against Kansas. And then we talked about this. Drake Powell is a must-play. His 3 blocks are unreal. I mean, both Graham and I have already gushed over the caught athletic hurdle block. I don't even know what you call it. Drake Powell, the freshman, who is, by the way, Coach Hubert Davis's cousin. He needs to be on the court. And I understand if the freshman maybe isn't making the decisions or making every nuanced play that UNC basketball wants him to make, but you got to get him to that point where he is because that ability has to be on the floor. Or you live with a few mistakes to get that ability on the floor. I was jaw on the floor shocked by how talented that guy is.
Unhuman. That's what you call
Drake
alien.
Powell's
alien. That's what you call his block that he had.
Duke basketball. They're fiery this year, but I'm going to start with the same thing I started on for UNC. Stats don't matter in a game like that unless there is a specific reason to care about it. I'm not even talking real stats in this one, although there's a few I'll bring up. They're fiery. I think Duke beat up on Wofford because they were still mad about Kentucky. The past 2-3 years of Duke basketball doesn't feel like they had that grudge holder. It felt like they lost a game. They cared. They played hard. They lost a game 2 or 3 days later. They're on to the next. This year's team feels a little different. I think they were angry because of the Kentucky loss. Thus, they went up by over Wofford 43-9 and gave up the fewest points by a Duke team in the shot clock era, 35.
defensive effort was definitely there for Duke. That's something that John Shire emphasized in the postgame. Wofford, give them credit. They did get open looks. They just couldn't knock anything down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the intensity for Duke, one thing that impressed me is that you saw a lot more of them. Because when you build up a lead like that, you just start working on the little stuff. It was the off-ball communication that I was seeing courtside that really impressed me. And so for Duke, I mean, my dearest mom texted me with about 3 minutes left. She's like, why does John Shire still have like his main guys in? And I'm like, well, you got to understand, they're getting ready to play 2 top 10 teams in the country this week. So they got to get as much play-in time as possible.
My mom was in town. I watched the game with her on Saturday, and she was saying, oh, why is or Shire yelling like that? Because they were ahead by 30 and he was still intense. And I was like, because they've got Arizona next, and then they have Kansas, and then they have Seattle U, and then they have Auburn, top 5 in the country. This is a team that needed to use that game to get better. From a freshman standpoint, Con Knippel, 2 for 4 from 3. That's a stat I was looking for because he didn't shoot well against Kentucky. I think he needed to see it go through the hoop a few times from 3. Isaiah Evans off the bench, 14 points for the freshman, 4 of 7 from 3. I'm going to just throw this out there. It was an overmatched game. They won by a bunch. He looked a bit like an electric scorer that might help them off the bench if they need a spark. May have played himself into a role. And then Common Malawash, I said this after the Kentucky game. I think the number one thing that's going to change this squad is if they get used to throwing lobs to Malawash. It's free points. If he's rolling down the lane and there's nobody actively like elbow in his stomach, throw the ball up. He can get his own jumpers. He can get his own other balls, other points. But lobs, just put it up there. He's 7'2" and he's got springy legs. And I don't care that Cooper Flagg didn't score in double digits. Just throwing that out there. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
NC State men's basketball getting a chance tonight to make a bit of a statement against a group of 5 opponent. They're playing Colgate. I'm still looking for the go-to scorer for this team. John Rothstein covers college basketball nationally. Tweeted this out. NC State currently has 8 different players averaging between 6.3 points per game and 16.3 points per game. Entering tonight's game against Colgate in Raleigh. First real test of the season for the Wolfpack, who are currently 3-0. 2 parts of that. Obviously, first real test of the season. Colgate has some believers out there at the group of 5 level. They play an interesting brand. They put up a bunch of threes. They shoot very, very well. This is a team that NC State can't play C- against and win. Probably at least B+ gets the win. But they want to play A+ ball. The other deal is 6.3 and 16.3. Feels like a very wide range to put players. But 8 different players within 10 points, that's a lot. Which kind of plays into a little bit of the who's the leading scorer deal. I think for most of the season last year it was DJ Horn. Once they got rolling, it became if DJ Burns didn't have foul trouble, they were going to him when they need a bucket. Jaden Taylor, who was the 3rd leading scorer on last year's team, probably gets the first look at it, at being the go-to guy. I'm just going to throw this out there. Marcus Hill and Dontrez Styles, I think, have to get more comfortable looking for their own shot, more so than they have this season, which is tough. It's part of State being what I've been calling transfer U. They just depend on transfers so much. Is if you don't bring in just an absolute like unconscious shooter scorer, guys are going to be worried about like, am I taking too much? Am I taking too many shots? Am I stepping on anybody's toes? I got 12, but this guy only has 8. It's almost like you got to get close enough to where you don't have to be nice anymore. Where they're still to the point where if one of their teammates have something in their teeth, they like, hey man, hey, dude, hey, you got something in your teeth? Yeah, just go check it out in the bathroom, man. Go look in the mirror. Once you get to know somebody for a while, it's like, hey, you got something in your teeth, right? It's like your buddies don't go ahead and sugarcoat that. Take your shots like you're playing with friends, because I still think there's a little too much. Everybody's getting their fair share when in the ACC especially, when games are close, you need to know who's taking those shots.
Is it fair to say, even though NC State finds themselves 3-0 to start the season, that maybe we're still looking for our first complete game from the Wolfpack?
Oh, absolutely.
Just because The USC Upstate game was a blowout, so it's kind of hard to outline that one. But the past two ones have been wire to wire. Now, I know NC State never trailed in any of those games, but it just felt like they had their opportunities to pull away late, and they just could never shut the door. And for a game tonight against Colgate that's going to come in there and shoot just as much threes as you do, but Colgate's the kind of team where if they're a 12th seed in the tournament and they're facing a 5th seed, when you're filling out your bracket, take them. So I'm curious to see if NC State can put together a full 40-minute game and not allow Colgate to hang around and put them away early.
That's interesting. I do love the shooting groups when it comes to the tourney. I'll decide whether if they make the tourney. They're 1 and 2 right now. If they make the tourney, whether they're one of my upset picks based on how they play tonight. So there you go. Colgate, you're auditioning to be on the second line of my bracket.
There you have it.
That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. I've long ago named Payton Wilson, former NC State linebacker, third-round pick of the Steelers, an alien. Alien is the highest form of compliment I have. It might seem like it's not a compliment, like you're calling somebody like a Martian or something. I don't know where to go when you go above like superstar. There has to be levels. So the way I've deemed it is alien. And every sport at any point in time has a handful of them. Payton Wilson is an alien. From what he put on the field his last year at NC State to what he put on the measurement devices at the Combine, he is an alien. He is the top level. And I said this on air, I think his medical evaluations must have been red flag after red flag. That's the only way I think he falls to the third round of the draft like he did. He's unreal. And it popped. Like last year, he was the best defender in college football. That's not on the team. That's not in the conference. That's in the country. And I stand on that. He made one of the crazier plays that I've seen for the Steelers in a win over the Ravens when you needed to make the play. Lamar Jackson, near the end of the game, felt like it was going to be all right, this is a nip and tuck game, and then the MVP, Lamar Jackson, one of the betting favorites, is going to go ahead and do something magical, and the game's going to end with a win. And he threw a teardrop to, I think it was Justice Hill, the running back, down the left sideline. It was going to be a big gain. It was going to change the field position and everything else. And Payton Wilson was beat. He was beat. Receiver, the guy he was guarding, the running back, I guess, got behind him, and he just got on his horse, made up the distance. Not only did Justice Hill catch it, but it was like in his hands, and Payton Wilson dove and just took it away. Dove and just had the interception and got a turnover for his team. They went and reviewed it to see if it was a catch or see if Justice Hill was down, and I think what everybody left saying was, no, Payton Wilson is just an alien. That play just doesn't make sense.
I think it was close to the Ravens sideline because it was so funny seeing the reaction of the Ravens players when you thought Hill initially called it, and they were all signaling for the first down, and then all of a sudden all the Steelers players are like, no, we got it.
He stood up with the ball, and it was like, really? It was similar for Panther fans to the Xavier Legette play where he caught it and then had it ripped away a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Only more impressive because he was making up ground and like Superman diving while it happened. And my first thought was, yeah, I kind of get why NC State's defense took a step back when that guy left campus. Like, I think, Tony Gibson's a great defensive coordinator. I really like what he does for NC State. But defense isn't as good this year for State. And I'm like, you know what? Having that guy in the middle, making up ground, making those plays, making the covering holes for other players, yeah, you know what? It now makes sense that the defense is not playing as well this year as it did last year. I knew that Payton Wilson was great, but he's doing that in the NFL. Yeah, I think he's everything we've built him up to be.
Yeah, all season I've been scratching my head watching NC State's defense struggle against mobile quarterbacks. I'm like, why is it so hard for them to stop a running quarterback? I'm like, because they don't have a guy by the name of Payton Wilson spying him everywhere he goes on the field.
Who is built like a big tight end but runs like a 4.37.
Built like a truck.
I know he didn't run that fast at the Combine, but I think he's faster on the field than he is at the Combine. He's field fast. That was just really fun to watch. And once I realized it was Payton Wilson, first of all, because he has the ugliest number ever. I think he's number 41. Ugh. But once I realized it was him, I was like, that makes sense. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
UNC football beat Wake Forest over the weekend, 31-24. We need to do a bit of flowers giving. And what I mean by that is there are certain times when things are accomplished that are impressive, especially in sports. You move on too quick. You win a game and suddenly it's, all right, now can you win the next one? Or you develop a player and now it's, okay, let's get the next job. You develop the next one. Mack Brown has done a really good job keeping UNC football engaged, together, not letting this season be a lost season, despite where they were not long ago. Mack Brown spoke after the Wake game, which was a win for UNC on the back of their All-American running back Omarian Hampton, and also made UNC bowl eligible this year, despite having some real lows this season. Here's Mack Brown after the game.
For this team to have been in such a hole, very few teams, in my estimation, could have come out of this. And that means they've got great character. I'm so proud of the coaches that they've hung in there because they were in a hole and everything was negative. And then you lose a 23-year-old that's crushing. It doesn't happen very often in your life, and you never want it to happen. You can take two different paths. You can go down and just quit, and you got plenty of excuses. And they didn't do that. They kept their head up. They kept fighting. They kept competing. And I think that's why they're so proud tonight.
They should be proud, and Mac should be proud. You know, we've harped on it, and quite honestly, I don't think we were incorrect in doing it. The 4 losses they suffered consecutively before their first bye were as brutal as a 4-game stretch could be.
Yeah.
And because they've turned it around, 3 straight wins, bowl eligibility, a little bit of momentum going into the last little bit here, their schedule, I don't think it changes how low they were as a football team from the product they put on the field in those 4 games. It's just more impressive that the coaching staff kept everyone together, kept everyone scrambling for any adjustment to make them better, and they've ended up here on the other side.
The thing I remember after hearing Mack Brown just speak after the game against Wake Forest is that during those bye weeks or after those losses, he kept saying when he'd come and talk to the media during his weekly availabilities that this team's going to finish better than they started. And so this Carolina football team has a chance to do something that Carolina fans have not been used to seeing the past 3 years, and that's actually finish a season strong. They have the chance to win out these last 5 games, whereas the last 3 years, it's been start off strong, fall apart at the very end. If Mack Brown can do that, who's to say he doesn't puff his chest out a little bit and come back for one more season? The fans might not like it, but he had all the momentum going in the world this offseason with some of the returning players that he might have coming back for next year's squad. I think some fans would want him back. I think some think the game had passed him by, which I think both are understandable, logical arguments. I just think it's worth mentioning that the guy still has his fastball in galvanizing a group of young men, right? Galvanizing a locker room through the ups and downs that come with the season. And this year, a whole bunch of downs, just one big valley of football play. To still come out on the other side like locked in and playing for each other is pretty impressive. And I'll give you this. If they do win out, you just brought it up, right? If they win their last 5 games, right? They've already won 3. They have at Boston College. They have at home against NC State left to play. And obviously a big rivalry game. Remember all the momentum that NC State had into the offseason last year? It's because they finished with a 5-game win streak. Yeah.
They were 4-3. They were facing some downs, some losses, people making comments. The NC State then finished on a 5-game winning streak, culminating in a dominant victory over their rival, UNC. And they went into the offseason with a whole bunch of momentum and a whole bunch of fundraising taking place. If UNC is 3-4 and finishes with 5 straight wins, including a win over their rival, they can do the same thing, and they can use that to catapult them into the next year.
And then who's going to be the big player that they have to re-sign with NIL collectives?
Well, the thing is, like Casey Concepcion was that guy for NC State, the catalyst for the offense. That would be Omarian Hampton, and you ain't paying more than the NFL is going to pay him. He's really gosh darn good, really gosh darn good. Maybe somebody like Banfield, the offensive lineman, who's one of the highest graded I think he's a true freshman, maybe just a redshirt freshman, not sure off the top of my head. One of the highest graded freshmen when it comes to PFF in the country. Maybe he's someone you got to dole out a little bit of cash for. Maybe there's a quarterback out there you want to dole a little bit of cash for. Who knows? What number was that? 2? Let's jump to number 1.
The one!
Canes win Saturday and Sunday. It was a 2-game little back-to-backer over the weekend. They scored 8 goals in the weekend, gave up 1. Spencer Martin with the shutout, being forced into duty because Kochetkov got the night off due to a little bit of an injury. Kochetkov comes back on Sunday. He plays. They win 4-1. Canes have something going. And what I love is they just don't flinch. And we can debate. And matter of fact, I've been in my email every single break here debating with somebody. Stu, shout out to Stu if you're listening, about how much adversity they've faced. What's real? Is this big adversity? Is this small adversity? All I know is bad teams get rattled by a lot less than what the Canes have dealt with. And they have not been rattled at all. I mean, Seth Jarvis, you can debate how important he is, right? Again, yeah, he's not a center, or if 2 elite scorers got knocked out, that would be, listen, I believe Seth Jarvis is important to this team, and him being out with an injury and them finding ways to continuously be successful and continuously overcome tiny bumps in the road is impressive. Being down to your 3rd goalie in the first, 16 games of the year, finding a way to win that game, leaning on that goaltender having a bit of swag and fighting back and not just being on his heels the whole game. I really like what the Canes are putting on the ice, and I haven't even gotten to Martin Necas yet.
Yeah, that guy.
Martin Necas is having a storybook season. Do you know what might be the only thing Martin Necas should have done that he hasn't done yet?
A hat trick?
I mean, yeah, everyone. It was a 4-point night, and we'll take that. I think he's probably wishing that he signed a 1-year contract this past weekend or this past offseason rather than a 2, because he's going to get paid, but now the Canes have a little bit more leverage, I guess. Goodness gracious, he's on pace for a crazy game.
I was just going to say, with everything that the Carolina Hurricanes had going against them going into this weekend, they look like they played stronger and better and faster. I mean, yeah, it was an 8-1 output between the 2 games, and they just established dominance from the very beginning. A little bit of a slow start against the Blues, but once the Blues scored first, they flipped the switch immediately and got straight to their game, chasing the puck, establishing the forecheck, and they were just buzzing around the net.
And I don't want to pretend like the Senators and the Blues are the best teams in the league. But I also don't want to pretend like they're the worst team in the league. What happened was the Hurricanes looked like one of the best teams in the NHL, definitely in their division and in the conference, playing against a middle-of-the-pack team. And what else can you ask of them? Right? And there's kind of 2 ways to look at it. You can look at it and say that's what they're supposed to do and not get excited about it. Or you can look at it, and like I'm choosing to, and saying there were bumps in the road. There was adversity. There were obstacles. They didn't let them rattle their mental outlook or their mindset and played the way that a team should with their level of talent, despite the fact that, for one game they were down to their 3rd goalie, or for both of them they were without their 2nd leading goal scorer and 2nd leading point producer from a season ago on a team that won, a whole bunch of games and had over 100 points. Like this is a team that is finding a way to look elite in most situations, to bounce back from adversity, to bounce back from losses very, very well. And I'm choosing to appreciate that rather than pretend like that's what they should be doing. I'm going to take a page out of every professional coach's playbook here and just say, winning games is hard and it deserves to be celebrated. The day I look at a win in a professional sports league and ho-hum that bad boy is the day I have completely lost touch with how hard it is to do, even against bad teams. You got to put something out there that's pretty darn good. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I started the starting 5 with this. I'll finish the starting 5 with this. Join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night at the Cary Carolina Ale House. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night at the Cary Carolina Ale House with Victoria, who you hear helping out Adam on the Adam Gold Show directly before this one every weekday. Victoria will be there from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a Canes ticket stop. That means every 8 minutes they will give away a pair of tickets to see the Islanders visit the Canes on December 17th. Come out, hang out, and win big, you must be there to claim your prize. So you have to be in attendance. You put your name and info in a little box. They pull out a winner every 8 minutes from 7 to 9. If you want to win, you have to be in attendance. It's at the Cary Carolina Ale House this Thursday at 7. We need some numbers game contestants. If you want to win, we have a pair of tickets to Experience Hendrix at the DPAC on April 6th. If you want to win a pair of tickets to Experience Hendrix this upcoming April, or you just want to win the numbers game, you want the glory and the bragging rights that come with winning the numbers game, we need 2 contestants right now. The number to call is 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in to play the numbers game now. It's coming up next.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Listen up, homeowners. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody's bent out of shape about Cooper Flagg turning the ball over twice at the end of the game. He had 26 points, 12 rebounds, and was the best player on the court. Yeah, he turned it over. Kentucky played really well at the end of the game and also at the beginning of the second half. That was the difference. Otherwise, if Duke makes 30% of their threes, they win that game by 10 points. I was impressed by the Blue Devils. I think they're going to get better and better all year.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's Paul Ihander for Game Day Men's Health. Are you low on energy or libido? Feeling a bit more sleepy? Losing confidence or focus? Discover health solutions and invest in your well-being at Game Day Men's Health. They offer a concierge medical clinic where you can be proactive about your health in a relaxed man cave environment. Explore options like testosterone therapy, ED solutions, weight loss, and peptides. With convenient appointments at 4 locations across the Triangle, it's never been easier to prioritize your health. Visit GameDayRaleigh.com today. Find the spot nearest you and book your free consultation. That's GameDayRaleigh.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have a pair of tickets to Experience Hendricks going to the winner. It is at DPAC on April 6th. And the contestants for today are, we have a battle of the names that start with B from Fuquay Varina. We have Brian from Fuquay Varina, and we have Bryce from Fuquay Varina. We'll start with Brian. Brian, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, as always, we need to ask a question, and then Graham will pick his favorite answer to see who goes first. The question for today is, what was the sports highlight of your past weekend? Right, it was a highlight of the past few days, but because we're a sports show, keep it sports-related.
Gotcha. My sports highlight was the bye week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The bye week, are you a Bucs fan?
I am, yeah.
All right, so just kind of getting to chill and do some things other than watch sports? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, the 4-game losing streak, we kind of break the streak, and now we come back strong after the bye.
All right, that's some solid logic. Let's go to Bryce in Fuquay Varina. Bryce, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, the same question to you. What was the highlight of your past weekend? But because it is a sports show, keep it sports-related.
I was at the Hurricanes game versus the Senators. Also awesome to see all the boys playing well and see Spencer Martin get his first shutout.
That's another pretty good one. Graham, which one is the better choice here?
I got to go local, homegrown. Let's go with Bryce since she celebrated Carolina Hurricanes' victory on Saturday.
All right. Bryce, you get to go first. Brian, don't worry. You'll have your chance. Just got to sit on the line for a bit. Bryce, are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. The category is NFL, just in time, all players with the first name Justin. NFL, Mr. Smith, all players with the last name Smith. NBA, Knicks of the last 20 years. That's obviously New York Knicks. And then NHL, Hurricanes only. Which category would you like?
NFL, Justin.
All right. These are all players with the first name Justin. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Justin Jefferson, Minnesota Vikings.
18.
Correct. Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers.
10.
Correct. Justin Tucker, Baltimore Ravens.
9.
Correct. Justin Fields, Pittsburgh Steelers.
1.
Incorrect. Justin Tuck, New York Giants.
Pass.
Justin Fields, Pittsburgh Steelers. Only 2 left.
2.
Correct. Justin Tuck, New York Giants.
8.
Incorrect. Justin Tuck, New York Giants. Justin Tuck, the defensive end. I'm not sure if you were in the right place there. Number 91. Yeah. 91 is the number we were looking for. But 4 out of 5 is pretty good. It's a solid way to start the week. So we appreciate you for leading off. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. And that brings us to Brian in Fuquay Varina. Brian, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you are NFL, Mr. Smith, all players in the NFL with the last name Smith. NBA, Knicks, meaning New York Knicks of the last 20 years, or NHL, Hurricanes only?
I would do NFL Smith.
All right. As the name implies, these are all players whose last name includes Smith. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You do need all 5 for the win, so give it a go. Any questions before we get started?
No, let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks.
6.
Incorrect. Devontae Smith, Philadelphia Eagles.
6.
Correct. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
Say the name again?
Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
11.
Correct. Bruce Smith, Buffalo Bills.
78.
Correct. Shaw Smith Wade, Carolina Panthers.
I can't hear you. Say it again.
Shaw Smith Wade, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks.
12.
Incorrect. Shaw Smith Wade, Carolina Panthers.
32.
You were close with the 32 guess. He actually wears number 26, one of the rookies making waves for the Panthers. Geno Smith with the Seahawks wears number 7. You missed that one as well. But you got Devontae Smith, you got Alex Smith, you got Bruce Smith. So solid showing. Unfortunately, not enough for the win. But hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, appreciate it. I like the enthusiasm there. That means Bryce in Fuquay Arena, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll take the one win over a Bucs fan any day.
I like it. That's good, healthy trash talk right there. I'm all for it. Appreciate it. Go ahead and stay on the line. Graham has to get some info from you, but you did win the tickets to Experience Hendricks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. I'm going to go on a little bit. This isn't a rant, but it's a little bit of like I hope people are with me. We need to get more trash talk going. Good-natured, healthy trash talk. I'm in a couple group chats. People are getting all into their feelings and everything when trash talk is happening. Part of the reason I love sports is because you can get after it, right? You can talk to your friends and argue and yell and this is better and this is why you're wrong. And then at the end, it's like, oh, so we still going to go get food? So let's make sure the trash talk is cool, right? And don't take it personally. I know there's so many other facets of life that if you disagree, it seems like right now you're enemies. But hey, I like the this team, you like that team, they're divisional rivals. Go nuts. That's my point. Go nuts. And if they get upset about it, then apologize and move on because it's not worth losing a friend. But you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Rates are going down. Rates are coming up. Rates are left. Rates are, I don't know. Rates are right. They're diagonal. North, east was the word I was trying to say. The point is mortgage rates, interest rates, they're volatile. They're tough to predict. And because of that, I think maybe what you should be looking to do is be flexible, be adaptable, look to be as mobile as possible to take advantage of falling rates while also protecting yourself against rates going up. And that's exactly what Gordon Miller and Miller Lending want to do with something they call the no-cost loan. Gordon's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. And because of that, he does it better, and they do it better than just about anybody else could possibly imagine. What it does as far as making you nimble and agile to take advantage of the market is when you get a no-cost loan, you don't have to pay those thousands of dollars in costs and fees out of your pocket in cash, which makes it so you don't feel bad about doing it over and over and over again. So if you get a mortgage today, rates drop next week, refinance. It doesn't cost a bunch of money out of your pocket. If they drop again a week later, do it again. A month later, do it again. A year later, do it again. Meanwhile, you didn't pay costs and fees in your mortgage today. If rates go up a week from now, who cares? You have it locked in from today. If they go up a year from now, who cares? You have it locked in. When rates drop, take advantage of it. When rates go up, you weren't waiting, hoping they would drop to get your monthly payment lowered. It really is just a way to have peace of mind. Know that you're not missing out on opportunities. Give them a call. They'll explain further. The number to call is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, Panthers are on bye, but that does not mean Panther fans didn't get into a scuffle. It's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Houston and Dallas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your half-caf heavy cream mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling is celebrating 51 years of trusted service. And to celebrate, get a furnace tune-up for just $51. That's peace of mind heating for only $51. Visit MitchellHVAC.com. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. Quality products and services on time from a family you trust. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
Experience Hendrix. Music's great. Perform the music of Jimi Hendrix together live. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Christone Kingfish Ingram, Zach Wilde, Eric Johnson, Devin Allman, Samantha Fish, Noah Hunt, Ali Venable, Chuck Campbell and Calvin Cook of the Slide Brothers, Mato Nanji, Dylan Triplett, Henry Brown, Chris Layton, Kevin McCormick. April 6th, the D-Pack. Tickets on sale now at dpacknc.com.
Hey everybody, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. You can tackle the NFL action on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins on tonight's game. We have Monday Night Football, Houston and Dallas, a battle of Texas. Think anytime touchdown for CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys. Joe Mixon over 75 rushing yards, and C.J. Stroud plus 200 passing yards if you're going same-game parlay. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Shop early, save big, all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, I told you earlier, I'll tell you again. Join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night, just a couple of days from now, at the Cary Carolina Ale House with Victoria, who you hear on the Adam Gold Show, right before this one, every single weekday. From 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., Victoria will be out there for a Canes ticket stop where you can win a pair of tickets every 8 minutes. Canes Islanders on December 17th. Every 8 minutes from 7 to 9, they'll be giving out a pair of tickets. So head out there, hang out, and win big. You must be there to claim your prize. So don't think you can just swoop in, sign up, and leave. You have to be there to claim your prize when you win. If you win, when you win. It's a Canes ticket stop, Cary Carolina Ale House this Thursday from 7 to 9. Now, the Panthers did not lose for the third straight week. We just had a caller say the highlight of their weekend as a Bucks fan was the Bucks being on bye because it ended a losing streak. So if that's the logic, the Panthers are on a 3-game not losing streak. 3-week not losing streak. Well, coming up this weekend, they're going to play the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions and just lost the first game of their season to the Bills this past week. So you're going to get an angry Kansas City Chiefs team lined up ready to play against the Panthers. Dave Canales, the head coach of the Panthers, spoke to the media today on what he expects from Patrick Mahomes.
I expect nothing but his best. This is a team that has found ways to fight and scratch for wins in different ways, and that's a mark of a great team, finding a block kick, and this game they came up short against the Bills, but, this is a group that's been playing a lot of football for a while, and it shows, in the way that they, deploy their defenses, the way that, Pat is able to use his different, weapons and talent all across the board. And of course, I have the highest amount of respect for Coach Reed, for Spags, for that whole group. So we don't expect anything but the Chiefs' best this week.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to be pretty mad. I think they're going to come out pretty locked in. I think the Panthers are going to have to play far and away their best game as a team this season if they want to be competitive in it. But that's not to stop the Panther fans from getting after it. Panther fans knew they could not lose this week, and they used that to their advantage. I saw Panthers Twitter getting froggy, ready to leap this weekend. Caleb Williams, not been good. The Bears, they're reeling a bit. Boom, Panther fans were there to pile on. All that trash you talked about, the trade for Bryce Young, boom, look at that. Caleb Williams, not that good, is the vibe I got from Panthers Twitter. Deontay Johnson has 1 catch for 6 yards since being traded to the Ravens. Boom! What'd we tell you? I understand why. You got 2 wins coursing through your veins. You felt like you were on top of the world and somebody was going to hear your vengeance, Panthers fans. I'm with you. Except for those 2 points aren't probably the points you want to bring up when you're arguing. Go argue with the Saints fans. Say, hey, we beat you. You had to fire your coach. You traded away one of your best defenders. Boom. Go argue with Giants fans. We beat you in Germany so badly, you benched your quarterback. Whammo. The Caleb Williams thing, the Bears thing, do you know what's the hard part about that? Even if Caleb Williams isn't what everybody thought he was going to be, and he's not their long-term answer at quarterback, and he's not going to be the first Bear to throw for 4,000 yards, and he's not what everybody hoped and dreamed he would be in Chicago, the Bears still win the trade. The Bears got a starting offensive lineman, a starting cornerback. They got multiple draft picks, including next year's second. We don't even know how that trade is going to finish out. They traded back. They got a 4th rounder. They used on Keenan Allen. That's all without Caleb Williams. So unless Bryce becomes a long-term starter for the Panthers, you still lose the trade. So I don't know if you want to be screaming like, Caleb Williams isn't what you thought it was. And they're like, yeah, that's why we made the trade, to insulate ourselves against any one thing needing to be that great. And the Deontay Johnson has 1 catch for 6 yards. Boom! I don't think the Ravens can possibly lose that trade, in which they essentially paid nothing and got a player back in return who still leads the Panthers in receiving yards. He may have 6 yards for the Ravens, but before he left the Panthers, he had more receiving yards than anyone else on the Panthers. Still, even with the 3 games that he hasn't been there. They got 15, maybe 20 spots in the draft moved up. Maybe now that the Panthers are up to, 8th and 7th? And all right, we'll call it 23 picks in the draft moved up on day 3. I don't know if you can win that trade. You didn't get anything really in return. I don't know if you can win that trade. So I think there are things to yell and scream about. There are things to be proud of. Right? I think you should talk trash about Jalen Coker. You found an undrafted free agent on the scrap heap after the draft, and turns out he's a pretty good player. I don't know if he's ever going to lead a team in receiving yards, but he's a pretty good player. He's somebody you can depend on for dirt cheap for the next handful of years. Stand up on that, right? Be excited. You turned your leading receiver into half a round of draft picks on day 3 in the draft. I don't know if that's how you want to brag about Jalen Coker. So Coker made Deontay Johnson expendable, so we got from pick 184 to pick 157. It's like, I don't know. Caleb Williams stinks, which makes the trade that we gave up that number 1 overall pick for our quarterback not seem as bad. Boom. I'm going like, well, you know what? The Bryce Young pick you traded for could have been C.J. Stroud. The pick that you traded away for Caleb Williams, or that turned into Caleb Williams, could have been Jaden Daniels, could have been Drake May, could have been Malik Neighbors, could have been Brock Bowers. I don't know. I don't think the Panthers have done the best job in the history of the world over the past 5 years building their roster, building their team. I think they've made a few very astute moves and pickups in the last 2 years, 3 years. And featuring Chuba Hubbard looks like a good deal, although I think you overpaid. There's some good. I just think as you're rebuilding, Panther fans, it's better to kind of, to quote, I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly and carry a big stick. And what that means is get better, become a juggernaut in silence until you're ready to really start throwing your weight around. I think the Panthers have some things to be excited about. Love their rookie class. Shaw Smith-Wade, who was in our numbers game. Jatavian Sanders, one of my favorite players in the entire draft. Xavier Legette's shown some things. Jalen Coker's shown some things. Well, Jonathan Brooks is expected to be active for the first time this year, this weekend against the Chiefs. I'm looking forward to seeing how this rookie class develops. I'm not talking trash to other teams about the way this rookie class has developed. You've had some other players for the Panthers show promise early on and then go away or get traded away. So I'm just throwing this out there. I wouldn't be giving receipts up too willingly to other franchises, because what's the number one thing about Twitter right now, or X, whatever you want to call it? If you say something and it ends up not being true, people are retweeting that. People are screenshotting that. I know it. It's happened to me. I've been on Old Takes Exposed before. It happens. So before you go talking trash, just know if things go south, which, let's be real, there's a decent chance. If things go south, those same takes, those same things will be thrown back in your face, just like you feel you're throwing them in their face. In other Panthers news, I'll just throw this out there for those of you just tuning in. I can't believe it's news, but it is. Earlier today, the head coach, Dave Canales, did say Bryce Young will be starting this weekend against the Chiefs. He's on a 2-game winning streak, and he hasn't turned the ball over in over 4 quarters, so I don't think that's a big surprise here. We have the audio of Dave Canales making that announcement. Here it is.
Bryce will play this week. Again, this is about the continued progress. This is about Bryce, looking more and more confident, as he's out there in Germany. Just felt a real confidence and just, an aggressiveness to his play and all those things. And of course, the end result, winning, So he continues to do things that put us in a position to put him back out there and continue to build on that.
Yeah, I think all of that was true last week. They should have named him last week. I'm baffled by it, but it happens. Apparently, the Panthers like to drag out naming starting quarterbacks. They've dragged it out, but now on a Monday, he has until Sunday to get ready for the Chiefs, and I will be watching. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. No overdrive today because instead we're turning things over to Panther Talk. I assume you'll hear quite a bit about Bryce Young getting the start. Dave Canales, you'll hear from him. Anish Roth, the play-by-play guy for the Panthers, you'll hear from him as well. We'll be back tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of the show. Graham will be with us once again, with Dennis still out of the office. However, we will have an NC State game to react to. They're playing Colgate tonight. NC State men's basketball. Looking forward to it, and much, much more. Monday Night Football and the like. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We're putting a lot of content out there. We want you to be a part of it. Until tomorrow, everybody, enjoy all of the action tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening.
Move your sports day forward.
Come on, Coach. I know it's tough. Just squeeze out that